Get involved with Jewellery Maker by sending the studio a message during our live hours. You can send a text to 60777 and start your message with JM Studio, or alternatively, go to our website and click on Watch the Live Show, simply type your message into the box and press send. Make sure you stay tuned in case your message is read out. Get interactive with Jewellery Maker.
We all know having the right tools for the job is important, so we here at Jewellery Maker have designed a toolkit which includes all your essential pliers for jewellery making, including round nose and flat nose pliers, wire cutters, as well as a bead reamer, snips and tweezers. You've got everything you need for just $9.95. We provide the tools, you provide the skills. Get creative with Jewellery Maker.
The latest edition of the Lure Book is now available. This highly regarded gemstone encyclopedia features over 1,300 pages full of facts and knowledge. Discover the places, the people and the stories behind every gemstone. To get your hands on a copy, contact our call centre on 0800 644 655.
Our commitment here at Jewellery Maker is to provide you with genuine gemstones. Many places might not be able to do that, but we want to guarantee it. So how do we do it? We go to the laboratories and we get tests. We have our own in-house gemologists that can guarantee that when we say genuine gemstones, that's exactly what you're getting.
Jewellery Maker ships to the following countries. We offer 2 delivery services, standard and premium. So wherever you are in the world, Jewellery Maker are never far away.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Jewellery Maker and welcome to Designer Inspiration. My name is Rebecca Redican and you have got such a treat today. I am joined by a jewellery designer, a jewellery creator, and also one of the makers of one of our most popular products here on Jewellery Maker. It is the absolutely inspirational, the legendary Stephanie Eddy. Hi Stephanie, how are you?
I'm fine, I'm delighted to be here.
All the way from America today. Yes. How exciting. Tell us a little bit about yourselves for people who perhaps haven't seen you before.
Well, I'm from Idaho in the US, and I've been a jewelry designer for about 50 years, I guess. I'm going to count the teen years. I've been doing it that long. Wow. And my latest love is the lazy daisy and working with wire and just really being creative with it and having fun. Hope to share that with the viewers.
And ladies and gentlemen, she has a lot to share. Take a look at some of these pieces. If you haven't tried the Lazy Daisy out yet, trust me, today is the day for you to get this wonderful piece of equipment. We've got fascinators, we've got necklaces, we've got works of art essentially here for us today. We truly do. Look at that fascinator. That is so beautiful. It's like red carpet showgirl. What gave you the inspiration behind that headpiece?
I had actually gone to a steampunk show at one point, and I made the fascinator, and then I just thought it was a great idea, and then I designed the runway necklace afterwards. So I did it for a runway for a model.
Wow, you can see that completely. It is a complete work of art. We are going to be spending plenty of time with the gorgeous Stephanie all afternoon. It's your chance to get your questions in. We've already had loads here on Facebook, but get some more in now if you haven't had the opportunity to yet. All you have to do is text us. The text number is 60777. Start your text with the word JM Studio. That means it'll wing its way over to us. Alternatively, get yourself on our website. It's jewellerymaker.com, and all you have to do there, you'll see a little box says send a message to the studio, type your questions in there. It can be to do with anything. Ask about her inspiration, ask about the Lazy Daisy. Maybe you've already got it home and you're trying to find new ways of using it or ways to add on. Any questions that you've had, trust me, you're in safe hands with the wonderful Stephanie today. So do get those messages into us. We'll be answering them all afternoon. And we have got step-by-step tuition with the Lazy Daisy with Stephanie today. Now we're going to be heading over to Stephanie in approximately half an hour, and we're going to be talking through your first kit. So what sort of things are you going to be showing us today, Stephanie?
Well, I want to show some advanced things that maybe people haven't seen before, and also go over some basic techniques and just kind of refine those a little bit to make sure everybody gets a good start.
So it's a little bit of something for absolutely everybody today. It truly is going to be an epic day. I, of course, have got genuine gemstones for you all afternoon, also including some stunning aragonite. I've got some sapphire and some brand spanking new quartz as well. Bargains galore as always. Let's get started so we can head over to Stephanie very, very soon. How about starting off with, to many, the epitome of elegance, the absolute ageless and timeless organic that has been popular for centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years, but 2014 really has been the year for this organic. It is, of course, your spectacular cultured pearls. Oh my goodness. Now, Stephanie, I'm really interested to get lots of your input today. I really want to know, when I say pearls to you, what springs to mind? What do you like about pearls?
I like the organicness and the individuality of pearls. I kind of am a pearl hoarder. I have bins and bins of pearls, and I like to use them in Viking Knit a lot. They just add an extra dimension to it.
There is something about pearls that I think can go with any technique, isn't it? And I understand beautifully how you could incorporate these. If you were to incorporate these in Viking Knit, what kind of wires would you be looking at? What colours would you be going for, especially with this kind of gentle mint green that we've got here?
I think probably would go with the greens that we have in our kit that's coming up. There's a beautiful green in there that I think would complement that just beautifully.
Oh, you're completely right. Oh, do stay tuned to have a little look at that. Now, if you haven't bought a strand of pearls from us before, maybe you're tuning in today to see Stephanie for the very, very first time. I really think it's very important for me to show you the length of our strands. Now, this is our strand I'm going to be showing you. This is with it touching at the back. Now, for me, this is the perfect necklace length, isn't it? That's with it touching at the back. So realistically, even if you're very, very new to us, all you really have to do to get yourself adds a little clasp to the back of this. Now, when we're thinking of a pearl necklace, what prices are we thinking? Well, if we're talking about the big names, you know, I've got some beautiful pearl-inspired pieces to show you from Tiffany later on. They have been using pearls, of course, for many, many years. And when we're looking at Tiffany pieces with genuine pearls, what price are we looking at? Well, we're hitting around the £1,000 mark, if not more, aren't we? Even on the high street, actually, very easily £200, £300 for a strand and for a full-length necklace. Now, this for me is a full-length necklace. All you really would have to do to get you started it as a clasp, of course, we've said you can do Viking Knit with this. You can do it really traditional and gorgeous. The price point I'm about to do for you today, if you are brand new to us, you're going to be shocked. So before I get it in, I need to let you know that this is genuine, 100% genuine pearls created by Mother Nature. 8 by 7 mil, these ones are, which classes them as a potato. Now, if you look at them, to me, they do look like a round to the eye, don't they? Be completely honest, they do look totally round to the eye. There's only 1 mil in it, that's why. Now, every single one of these pearls has taken Mother Nature around 8 years to create. Every single one of these, building up nacre layer after layer after layer over 8 years. These are absolutely genuine. The price is genuinely astonishing. Your price today for the length of a pearl necklace is £9.95 for you today. I think that is astonishing. Let me show you against the neckline again. Let me just show you. This is with it touching at the back. That for me is the perfect length of a necklace. Perfect length for a necklace, and it's got that gorgeous delicate, it's called mint cultured, and it's got a really delicate little, it's a blush mint, isn't it? It's not over the top impactful spearmint, is it? It's a gentle little kiss, a whisper, if you will. A whispering mint, if you will. £9.95. I've got quadruple buyers on this in London. Hello everyone in Hampshire, Norfolk, Denbighshire, many multi-buyers. I'm heading really close to Last Chance Saloon now. We started off with nearly 100. I'm heading towards Last Chance Saloon on this because that price is astonishing. You know the price of pearls have gone up. You absolutely 110% know that the price of pearls have gone up everywhere. We are able to give you this astonishing price right now because when we bought this, it's before the market went massively up in price. We've been looking at around a 40% price hike over the last few months in the price of pearls. We got these before that price hike. Now, we've been looking for the Christmas time period. We've got a lot of shell pearl for you, a lot. But because the price has gone up so dramatically, we're hardly getting our hands on any pearls for around the Christmas season. So if you want to give pearl pieces, pearl sweets, pearl rings, whatever it might be for Christmas, you really should be getting them right now. If you want the real deal, if you want the #1, I've got way over half already, tiny amount of these left right now. At £9.95 you can treat yourself. And Stephanie had a great idea adding these to that Viking Knit. We've got a beautiful chartreuse kit coming up for you in a little bit. These will just be setting that piece off so beautifully. Get your hands on them whilst you can. CWPO01, that's your code. Handful left now. Once you check out, I will be in single figures on this. Get it whilst you can, because let's face it, pearls are everywhere. Because everybody loves them, no matter what your age, no matter what your style. I'm sure you know someone who absolutely adores this most wonderful organic. It is the organic of 2014 and it's yours today for a tiny £9.95. Gonna have to move on because I've not got many left of those now. And oh, I'm so excited to show you this. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot it was that price. Now, I'm about to show you a strand of sapphire. This strand of sapphire is a beautiful rough nugget and it's got that gorgeous matte appearance to it. Now, lovely Mark's in the workshop room today. He's doing his advanced macrame, and yesterday he was doing his chips and nuggets. I was speaking to a lady who's done both courses. And she was saying, there you are, hello ladies. One of the ladies was saying yesterday when she did the chips and nuggets, she's not really worked with chips and nuggets before until she went on the course. She wanted just to try something new. And she's absolutely astonished. When I saw her then in the shop, she was pretty much just buying chips and nuggets. And if you are as in love with those pieces as she is, and as many of you are, why not add a little bit of high-end luxury to that? Now, sapphire is a beautiful one. Sapphire is very much regarded as a gemstone of true love. Now, there's many reasons to that. First off reason, I believe one of the first off reasons, is because Edward VIII, who of course was king for a short time, he fell in love with a lady called Mrs. Simpson. Now, you may well know that Mrs. Simpson, I know I've told you a few times before, Mrs. Simpson was given by King Edward a beautiful sapphire bracelet that she loved so much that she actually had all of her favourite Van Cleef dresses and gowns completely altered, the sleeves shortened slightly, just so that she could show off this beautiful bracelet because she loved it so much. And she was so passionate about it. And of course, some of you may not know actually the story of King Edward VIII. He was the first and only monarch to ever choose to turn down being a monarch, because essentially he fell so in love with Mrs. Simpson, and she'd already been married, and as a king you're unable to marry someone who has already been married. So he turned down being king. He gave up his monarchy, he gave up his seat fully because of the love for this woman. And as he turned down the seat, that's when he gave to her her beautiful sapphire bracelet that she adored so much. It really did show love and care, and I think that's one of the reasons that this gemstone is synonymous not only with the royal family but also with eternal love. When we think of sapphire, of course, I'm sure you're thinking the big four, aren't you? You're thinking, well, the big five if you count tanzanite, which I may have for you in a little bit. I wouldn't like to say, I do. I've got tanzanite coming up for you later. If you're thinking the big four, you're probably thinking big price tag. Now, Stephanie, yes. I like to play a little game. And my game is 3 words. And what I'm going to ask you now is to describe sapphire. You look scared, Stephanie. Stephanie, you look very scared. It's not that hard, I promise. You just have to think of 3 words, the first 3 words that come to your mind or that you think of when you think sapphire. 3 words.
Beautiful, calming, majestic.
I love that. Why calming? Because that's quite a strong word, really.
Well, you know, it's I find a lot of stones calming.
Yeah.
You know, they're just of the earth and the essence of them and the color. It just is, it's just calming to me.
And I suppose especially in a blue like this.
Yes, or you know, the ocean, you know, it's calming. It's just a beautiful stone.
When you think of sapphire and you think of the big four, what kind of price point is in your head? Are you thinking quite high end or?
Yes, oh yes, absolutely.
Well, you're going to be absolutely adoring what I'm about to do with the price of this. 50 carats of genuine, natural, untreated sapphire. Your price today for this entire strand.
No. Oh my gosh, you better sign me up. Oh my gosh.
£6.95. Could you even buy a coffee in a coffee shop for that price? Not the ones I go to, definitely not. Definitely not. What do you think of that price point, Stephanie?
Oh my, that's astounding. That really is astounding. I'm just speechless.
There is loads of you absolutely adoring this. If you're joining us for the first time today and you're thinking, how can that be natural? How can that be a real gemstone at that price? I'll tell you how. We here at the Genuine Gemstone Company have such massive buying power. We have our own areas, our own mines. We have miners who deal specifically and exclusively with us here at the Genuine Gemstone Company, and that's why we're able to do it. We cut out the middlemen. We don't have to go through an agent who then buys it from someone else who buys it from the miner. We go straight to the mines ourselves. We do visit really, really regularly, and that's how we're able to bring you genuine, one of the big four at just £6.95. Now, already heading really, really low in stock on this today. So please be quick if you want to get your hands on this. Let's face it, even if you've not worked with chips and nuggets before, you may well have wanted to work with sapphire. This is your opportunity to do so. And we don't often have sapphire in this form. We have it faceted a lot, we have it in drops a lot. But if you, like Mark and so many others, adore working with this really organic, and as Stephanie so beautifully put it, very calming gemstone, now is your opportunity to do so. An absolute bargain price of £6.95 today. That is absolutely astonishing price point. ADRU46 is your code on that today. Now, I've got lots and lots of treats coming up for you, and we are going to be headed over to Stephanie shortly. But if you're new to us today, and perhaps you don't know, we like to set our guest designers challenges. And I have got a little challenge for Stephanie today. Now, Stephanie, you didn't really know that we were going to spring a challenge on you, did you?
No, but I'm up for the challenge. I'll take it on.
Good, I'm really glad. This is your first challenge strand that we're going to be giving to the lovely Stephanie. This has only been seen once on the channel before, and now is your opportunity to get your hands on this beautiful rhodonite. Now, genuine gemstone, no treatment on this whatsoever, no heat, no coating, absolutely from Mother Nature, polished, shaped into these gorgeous, delicate hearts, stranded and brought to you today. 215 carats worth we have here. Now, the thing I personally love about rhodonite so much is that gorgeous matrix. Every single one of these with this beautiful internal matrix. Can you see, you've got this, I always think it's a bit like a Cath Kidston pink, isn't it? It's a dusky pink. And then as we tone on down, you've got these really stripes, these banding, this internal matrix in here. Now all of these are completely natural, and it's purely just from the growing process of this. It's to do with heat, it's to do with the different surroundings at the time, it's to do with the pressure when these are being created by Mother Nature that gives you these gorgeous bandings. Now every single one of these is really delicately shaped into this heart piece. Now of course you can highlight the heart and strand it as you may now, but of course you could do it tip to tip, you could do it to create almost like a bow tie shape, you could do it end to end as well. You've only actually seen this strand once before, and it's a lengthy strand. Let me show you this whole strand. It is so lengthy. Massive amount of this. Now Stephanie, have you got any ideas of what you might be doing with this strand?
Yes, I do.
Oh, I like that.
I love the variety in the color, and I have some ideas percolating.
Oh, I love that. Do you work with this kind of shaped gemstone a lot, or have you?
Occasionally. I do some special charities, and oftentimes I'll put hearts in them.
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
this will have a special meeting.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I'm so excited. We are going to be giving this strand to the lovely Stephanie, and we'll be heading back over to her about 4:45 to have a look at what she's made. It's your opportunity to get your hands on it now, and then later on you can have a little look at what she's created. You're going to be astonished by this price. A massive 215 carats for just £6.95.
That's amazing. I don't know how you can keep putting these prices on there. It's pretty amazing.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
Yes,
there's so many in here as well.
There's a lot of them.
6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. I've got minimum 30 on this strand. So are you going to...
That's a necklace and 2 bracelets right there.
That's
and earrings.
astonishing, isn't it? At £6.95.
Yes.
And think, if you're making to sell, which I know a lot of you are, the price point that you can put on these with your time and your inspiration and your care in creating is going to be really astonishing. But even if you just make for your friends, how gorgeous is it to give someone a heart? It's so charming, it's so delicate, it's really caring. Of course it signifies love, doesn't it? It's a really beautiful selection of gems here. And actually, quite a unisex strand as well, isn't it? Because you have got some with that kind of bold, dark, strong striping, but then you have got that delicate blush tone of pink running through there as well, haven't you? ZDPO86 is your code, and it is £6.95 for you today. Now, you have got another challenge strand, lovely Stephanie. Have you seen this strand in the flesh?
No.
You're about to be blown away.
Okay, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Oh my.
Oh, what do you think?
Lovely. What is that?
It's black spinel.
Oh my gosh. I get to use that too?
Yes!
Oh wow, okay.
I'm so excited to show you this. Now, let me just, you have got here 135 carats worth on here. And I'm just looking at the description. It's described as a faceted drop, and it certainly is, but to me it is so much more than that. This is a double-sided gemstone. Take a look. So, we have here, I would describe this as the table. So we'll talk about this as if it were your usual gemstone. Stay where you are, have a little look at this table. So you've got a faceted table. Now wait, I'm just about to turn this around. This is double-sided because look, can you see, completely different on the back here. So if I show you it flat as if it were a ring, or as if it was a kind of stereotypical gemstone, let me show you. Can you see you've almost got you've got your table here that goes down to the girdle, which goes down to the culée point. Are you getting that at home? So on the back you've got your triangular facets heading down to the nose of that culée, and then you've got your on the top here. Oh my goodness, what do you think of this strand, Stephanie?
Well, that might be a little more of a challenge for me, but we'll see what happens.
It's a little bit of an unusual one, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely, though.
It's very bedazzling, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Very bedazzling. Now we have got here your gorgeous spinel, and this is your spinel from Thailand. You've got 135 carats worth on here. You're ranging from a 10 mil to a 14 mil, and you have got the double sides on this. Oh my goodness, look at this, and then just flip the other side. It's really unusual that we get a shape like this on a strand other than those of the collector's choice, the connoisseur's choice, isn't it? Now the thing I adore about this is, if you wish to do yourself a faux prong set ring, you absolutely could, because you have got the drill hole, but because it's spinel, it's totally opaque, you won't be able to see that drill hole at all. So imagine doing your faux prong set ring with this, because it's got the same shape, it's got that archetypal shape of going down to the point. So now you're looking at the back of these, and this is going to that culé point, and then how beautiful would that be as a faux prong set? A pair of earrings on this you'll be able to do in moments and sell for the price of this strand. Your price today for this astonishing cut gemstone is just £14.95 for all of this. This is spinel. This is one of the wonders of the gemstone world. It's got a luster unlike any other. If you are new to us today, you're not totally sure what luster means. It's the way that the light interacts with the top of this gemstone, with the surface of the gemstone. And for me, black spinel has a luster unlike any other. It's deep, it's mysterious, and it's just really bedazzling. It truly is. If you want to get your hands on a gemstone in just such a stunning cut, I can't get over this. I will be honest, it's quite hard to show you at home purely because of the depth of this and purely because of the lights in here. So we have sort of stage lighting in here. It's set really well to light us. It is quite hard to show you. But what I will say is, imagine your archetypal gemstone with your table, your girdles going down to the pavilion on the side and going down to the culé point. That's what you've got here. That's exactly what you've got. That's the front of the gemstone that you can see here. There's a few in baskets. You need to check this out. We're going to be having a little look at exactly what Stephanie does with this very, very shortly. It's yours today for a tiny £14.95. Now, got a little bundle for you now. Bundles are a wonderful little treat, because what happens with a bundle, we get loads of goodies, we put them all together, and we do you a ridiculous price. It's as simple as that. It's power of purchase. It's like when you go to those huge stores and you buy crates of things and you get crazy prices on it. That's exactly what I'm about to do for you now. Power of purchase, astonishing price point on sunshine on a cloudy day. Oh, it sums up today actually, doesn't it? Think sunshine, think bright, and boy oh boy, you've got it. If you're not awake yet, you will be in a second. Have a little look at these. Pow, that's all I can say. Whoa. This is your frosted orange shell pearl. Now these are 10 mil rounds that we have here. And then juxtaposed to this, you've got these high shine, highly polished, the orange and yellow in the 6 mil. Where's the cloudy day coming from? Wait. Right. Really? This is described as beige, but I'm saying silver, isn't it? This is a beautiful glowing silver tone that we have to these, again in the 6 mil, and this of course is our cloudy day. Now look at these working well together. Oh my goodness. Now I was at a festival, not this weekend, the weekend before, and these are the types of colours that people were wearing. It's all about the bright, it's all about the colour popping. Do you remember last year's trend of like the colour pop that was, you kind of wore a lot of black and then you might just have a really bright belt or a really bright handbag and you do the colour pop? This year is like that, but hyped up to the maximum. It's colour blocking against other colours. Yellow on pinks, oranges on greens, all of these really bright, impactful colours. And that trend is set to continue for the rest of this year. It really is, even through to the winter, which is really unusual, but that's what's said to happen. And these are going to add that really fashionable element to your pieces, to your designs, to your looks, and just add a little bit of a spring in your step. Sunshine on a cloudy day. This is 4 strands for you. Now, what are you thinking per strand? You know our prices are crazy here already, but just have a guess. What are we thinking per strand? £9 per strand? That'd be good, wouldn't it? That'd be good because they're lengthy strands. You've got some huge sizes in here. Even £7 a strand would be good, wouldn't it? Your price today is not £13.80. Your price for all 4 strands today is just a tiny... I always feel quite like awkward about doing these ridiculous prices because I genuinely do believe at £7 a strand that is fantastic. Have you ever been to your high street stores and you've got the plastic pearls, the plastic ones? I've bought a long strand of plastic pearls around the £15 mark and I thought it was a great buy. You didn't get nowhere near as many of this, nowhere near as many, and this is so much more durable than those plastic pearls as well. They're not working out at £7 a strand, they're working out about £2.50? £2.49 per strand. £2.49 per strand. You can buy a soggy sandwich for that price anymore, could you? Oh, I hate soggy sandwiches. Oh, to make me feel a bit queasy. I've got loads of you purchasing this. Congratulations, anyone. You're adding to your designs fashion, you're adding bright, you're adding a spring in your step with these today. Stephanie, what kind of colours do you like to work with in your pieces, or does it depend on your mood?
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just lay the pieces down and you see them and you just work with them. But I really love those. Those are very tropical.
They are,
They're very fun. Yeah,
They're
very
really
fun colors. Yeah.
If you were going to work with these, what types of things would you be doing with them?
I probably would be making a strand with a lot of them maybe hanging off of them, the kind of jingling and, you know, just a Carmen Miranda kind of tropical paradise kind of thing.
Oh, I love that. I could see these being worn by a pool, cocktail in hand.
Yes, there we go.
Yes, I like that a lot.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that right now. £9.95. Congratulations, everyone who's got your hands on this. Your names have gone off my screen. There's so many of you buying this, but congratulations to anyone because you're adding fashion, a colour pop, and something that, let's face it, is a total bargain at £9.95. Congratulations for getting your hands on that. Now, I'm joined by Stephanie. I'm so excited for this today. I have got lovely Stephanie with me all afternoon until 5 o'clock today. It's your opportunity to get your questions into the wonderful Stephanie. All you have to do is text us in. We've already had loads of texts, but keep them coming in because we will be answering them very, very shortly. Start your text with the word JM Studio. That means it'll wing its way to us. 60777 is your number. Alternatively, you can just go on our website and you can send a message to the studio that way if you so wish. Any questions that you might have about the lovely, lovely Stephanie's journey with jewellery or the Viking Knit itself, and we will answer those for you. Now, I have got the kit here for you that lovely Stephanie was given to have a little bit of a play with, and we are going to be going step by step through exactly how to use some of these goodies with the Lazy Daisy. Now, we have got the Lazy Daisy for the Viking Knit coming up for you in lots of different forms, so do stay tuned if you haven't managed to get one yet, or maybe if you're trying to teach someone else how to you know, get on board with your passion. Today is the show for you to do so. Let's start off with a little bit of summer dreams, shall we? Starting off with the wire. Now, Stephanie, of course, with the Lazy Daisy, wire is a very important component, isn't it? Now, when you're working with such a variety of wires, such a variety of colours, what are you generally looking for? Do you look for them to work well together, or is it mainly gauge dependent?
All of those things, because with the Lazy Daisy you can work with several different colors of wire at the same time, which we can talk about a little later. You can actually do 2 different gauges of wire at the same time. You can blend the colors together, you can do contrasting colors. It really depends on what what you want to go for, or what your design is going to be. You can do subtle colors together or contrasting colors. I love to do contrasting colors because then you can really see some of the really subtle designs that you can do. You can do single, double, and triple Viking knit stitches, and if you have 2 and 3 different colors, there's really no reason why each one of the colors can't be doing a different stitch.
Oh.
So there's a lot to do with the colors. Yes.
I adore that.
Well, essential.
That's cracking because you've got 4 different colours of wire in this kit today. I have got for you your 0.4 in the chartreuse. This is the one we were saying earlier would go absolutely spectacularly with that min. Oh my God. And the silver. Look at that. And the pink. Oh, all of them. You've got the 0.4 in your chartreuse. You've then got the 0.4 again in your beautiful delicate pink. We're working with the 0.4 throughout all of these gauges. You've got 100 meters on this reel of the silver. And you have 100, no you don't, you have 10 meters of the antiques bronze. So you've got 130 meters worth in total. Huge smile, just worked that out. 0.4 is your one running throughout, and 0.4 is absolutely wonderful for Viking knit, and we'll talk more about that very, very shortly. As well as this though, of course, you've got your genuine gemstones. Let's take a little look at some of these, shall we? So delicate, so beautiful, light, tranquil, delicate tone in this beautiful rose quartz. 150 carats worth of these barrels we have here, and these are 16 by 8 mil. Really high shine. You've got differences in your translucency within these, which I think is gorgeous. Can you see this on here? It's almost melting in translucency, isn't it? Which I think is really delicate and pretty. Each one of these has got that really silk-like internal effect, hasn't it? Really delicate, almost lacing through, which again works perfectly with the Viking knit, doesn't it? Because of course Viking knit, depending on how much you draw it through the draw plate, can also get this really beautiful, delicate, silk-like interwoven appearance. So I think this goes beautifully with this technique, as actually does our crackled quartz due to that internal texture. Now these crackled quartz we're looking at here are quite large actually, aren't they? 12 mil we have, 350 carats worth of these rounds. Crackled quartz is really simply created. It is natural gemstone, it's just your natural quartz, and all we do is we apply a heat to it so the internal structure just crackles. So the internal structure of the crystals just alters and they all switch into places. Now it doesn't mean at all that these are any more delicate, still the same on a Mohs scale. So you've got the strength there, but you've got this beautiful, really interesting, almost sort of majestic internal effect to these, which I absolutely adore, because it also means when it catches the light you get this like rainbow inside, which I absolutely love. Oh, I love tiny faceted gemstone. Have you got a bead loom? Have you gone loomy about bead loom? I have no idea what loomy means. Bit like loopy. If so, get your hands on this because you can add it with your Viking knit, but also beautiful for a bead loom too. 2 mil on these, 15 carats worth we've got of these faceted rounds. Each one of them really delicate. If I just show you these really closely, you'll be able to get an effect of the work that's gone into them. Each one of these is hand faceted by our lapidarists. And look at how that gives you this beautiful sparkle, really delicate sparkle to these. Imagine faceting a 2 mil round. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I find it hard just to strand the smaller gemstones, let alone facet them on a lathe, every single one, a lathe spin, you perfectly faceting them so every single facet is the same, every single facet is interlinked. That's so tricky, isn't it? It truly, truly is. But all that work's been put into these just to give you this gorgeous, delicate twinkle effect. Lastly, but by no means leastly, something that I know a vast majority of you adore. we've got a cab. This is your just natural beauty of a really delicate amethyst long cab. Now, if you're not sure what a cab is, it's a cabochon, which essentially means generally it relates. So en cabochon is a cut, so this means that you've got the domed effect on the front, and if I flip this over you'll see it's got a flattened back. So that is the en cabochon cut, and this is your 40 by 14 mil cab, and the cabs have 0 drill holes in here, which you can use for many different techniques, and we will talk you through that more later on. You have got 10 carats worth within that cab. Every single one of your cabs is going to look different because that's how Mother Nature works. So every single one's going to be different, and you are going to be able to create some truly unique pieces with all of this. Let's reiterate, shall we? I've got your 2 mil faceted quartz, I've got your rose barrels, I've got your 12 mil quackled quartz, I've got your 10 carats of amethyst cab, I have got 0.4 wire across the following colours: chartreuse, pink, 10 metres of each, 100 metres of the silver, and 10 metres worth of your antiques bronze. The price today, £38.60. That is for 3 strands of genuine gemstones, a cab, and 130 metres worth of wire. Your price today, though, actually, that's a saving of £13.65, £24.95. You would be paying that anywhere else just for those 12 mil strand of quartz. Just for the quartz, these 2 strands of quartz here, you'll be paying that anywhere else. The fact of the matter is today, with including those 2, you've got your rose quartz, you've got your cab, you've got the 12 quackle quartz, you've got the 2 mil, and you've got 130 metres worth of wire in the alternate colours. This is
kind of like a pink lemonade with frost, you know? It just is, it's very beautiful, especially with the green.
You're so right, it really does. It is really delicate. It's quite feminine and flirty as well, actually, isn't it? But then you've got that kind of grown-up twist to it with the antiques bronze, which I just think is fantastic. So many of you coming in. Welcome, everybody. There is a very small queue on the phone, but we'll be with you in moments, so do stay where you are. I'll be honest with you, though, you know we like to have massive numbers of designer inspiration, don't we? We generally will be heading around the 100, if not the 150 mark for the quantity. At this moment in time, with all these people who've just come in, and with the amount we've got, I've only got about 60 of these available at this moment in time. So already you're going to have to be quick. And I tell you what, I'm back off a holiday. You know I don't like the number 13. Neither does my producer, which is good. It's no longer £13 discounts. It's just gone down. It's yours today for £21.95. That saving is astonishing now. Don't forget, this should have been over nearly £35. You've got over £38.60 it should have been. £21.95 for you today. Don't worry, everyone pays exactly the same price on this. It's just £21.95 for 3 strands of genuine gemstone, a cab, and 130 metres worth of wire. Now's your chance to buy. You're going to get step-by-step help now with the gorgeous Stephanie on how to work these with your Viking knit. But even if you haven't tried Viking knit before and you're planning on getting the Lazy Daisy later on to give it a try, quacking idea, but also they'll be great just for anything really, won't they? Stephanie, I'm so excited for today. I cannot wait. Now, for those who have just tuned in, tell us a little bit about how you started jewelry making. So you say you started in your teens?
Actually, I started on my grandmother's lap, great-grandmother's lap. She used to rock me to sleep with a crochet hook in my hand, and then we went to the store and we got little tubes of beads, and I think I've always been making jewelry and crafts and things. So it's been a lifetime love for me.
And it obviously is a passion for you. What is it about jewelry making that you love so much?
I think it's the personal journey that you can take with it. You know, it's so individual and so special, and especially when you can find particular kinds of stones and things that really speak to you, and then you can enhance them in something, you know, special for you or special for someone else.
And with your jewelry, do you make for yourself? Do you make for friends? Do you make to sell?
I do not sell any finished jewelry.
No.
I have in the past, but I really like the design process. So I'm more than happy to share what I know with other people and have them make it and have them sell it. I just keep the pieces for display and for my own pleasure.
And let's face it, with a display like this, you can understand that exactly, can't you? Each one of these is a statement. It is, you can almost see a creative process and a journey through these. You can see that it's a labour of love, really, isn't it?
It is, it is. It's a late night labour of love, usually.
And your husband gets involved as well?
Yes, my husband's very supportive. He knows how to do the Viking knit as well as I do. He really looks at it from more of a technical perspective. He's very precise, and he's come up with a lot of our techniques that help people, you know, be successful doing Viking knit. And then I can take them a little step further and go on with the design work. So it works really well.
It's a
good
really
partnership.
nice team effort.
Yes, it is.
He was saying he finds it very relaxing as well. Do you find the design aspect quite relaxing?
Yes, yes, I do. I do. I love to do the design, so I'm kind of excited about the challenge. I don't know how well I'll do on the spot, but we'll see.
I'm sure you will do absolutely spectacularly. Now, every single one of these has got a really different feel to it, hasn't it? It really goes to show you how far a Lazy Daisy and the Viking knit can take you.
Yes.
Where does your inspiration generally come from?
I don't know. You know, I mean, it can be the colors, it can be a lot of things, but generally I will just pick a palette of color, because color is the first thing that I think about, and I will start working with the wires and experimenting. That's what I like to do the best, is play with the wire and other elements, adding beads, adding multiple wires or whatever, and then kind of lay them out, and then I just take a journey. You know, I usually have some kind of an idea in mind, but it very, very rarely ends up being that particular design.
Really?
Yeah.
So it almost does its own thing.
It does. I want to allow it to become whatever it's going to become. I know that sounds a little cliche, but that's really kind of what happens.
No, I can understand that, because each one does have a form to it, doesn't it?
Yes.
None of them look forced. They all look like they've almost created themselves.
They've kind of got a flow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they all are very different. I don't have a particular style other than working with wire. I just like to experiment with all the different ways to do it.
Absolutely wonderful. So we're going to be having a little look at how to create some stunning pieces now. So whereabouts are we going to be starting today?
Well, this is one of the kit you were talking about earlier. I stopped by the studio yesterday because the packet that they had mailed to me didn't make it to me before I left the United States.
We sent the packet to America, but you'd already left by the time it got there.
Well, I was still there, but it just wasn't quite enough time.
Oh, no.
So I only had last night to play, which was fine.
And that's why the lady in the workshop today said, oh, when I walked in, oh, I've met Stephanie, she's lovely. She was teaching me how to Viking knit in my hotel.
She knows how to Viking knit now. Yes, she's quite an expert. My husband sat down and gave her a private lesson. It was great.
Oh, I love that. How lovely.
So I played with what was in the kit for a little bit, and I just did some simple wire wraps on these particular beads, but also with the large. So these were just free form. This is our 1/4-inch Lazy Daisy tool. It has the 6 loops on it, and with this I kind of wanted to tell people a little bit about if you have leftover pieces, don't throw them out. You can make little beads or earrings with them. So that's what these are. These were just some little pieces that we made with the pinks.
Oh, wow.
To show that you could do some versatile things with them. This is the 20 gauge that was in the kit, and I basically did that on the 1/2-inch tool, and then I inserted several of these inside, like in a little cage, so that you could use that and you could hang things off of that.
Wow.
That could be a little centerpiece. This is kind of a larger version of that. This is some the wire, but I put little wooden beads inside to give it some shape.
They look so beautiful and organic.
And then this is, I think you have gone over this on the show before, but this is a double Viking knit.
Okay.
It's a little bit more dense than the single Viking knit.
Yeah.
And then this is a version of the two colors, the mint color and the pink color, where we're actually merging the colors together. So we're actually would be working 2 wires at the same time, not together, but at the same time as we go around the Lazy Daisy. You can blend colors. And that you can do that on either of the tools.
I love that. Now, I'm going to be bringing people at home, this is the original
This is the original tool, yes.
So this is your 1/4 inch
yes.
Lazy Daisy. Now, talk to us about this tool. Obviously, it's something really dear to you, of course.
It is. Well, it started with, I'm not, the viewers are familiar, but this is originally, this is the way I learned how to do it. This was done on a wooden dowel.
Yeah.
You had to make a wire top. That's what the head of the Lazy Daisy. You had to make that with wire. You had to tape it on. You had to draw some lines to keep the columns straight. You had to have an awl. I actually had this in a vise. I mean, it was something that I did not want to do again.
That sounds really complex.
It was very complex, and it wasn't something for me.
No.
I like that immediate kind of design, you know, get right to the point and then make something fun. So I had a friend that asked me to teach a class, and in the process of doing that, we came up with a Lazy Daisy tool to make it easier for everyone to just get started doing the weave. They don't have to do any preparation. They cut the wire, they insert the wire, they start weaving. And it's
Easy
just,
as that.
and don't think of it as, it's not really knitting in the sense that we often think of as knitting.
Mm-hmm.
It's really more of a real easy weave.
Fab, and it does create that look. It's almost
It does.
a beautiful interwoven appearance.
It is.
Now, with the 1/4 inch, of course, you've got the 6
Yes.
loop ability, haven't
This
you?
has 6 loops on the head, and the head is removable, and that's because we want, as we're working down the rod, what we want to be able to do is make it as long as we want.
Okay.
So we are not restricted to just making this length.
No.
Okay. It also has an anchor hole. Now, I've colored this so that they can see it a little bit easier, but this anchor hole goes at a diagonal. It goes from top to bottom. I usually do take a marker and make a color on it just so I can see it a little bit easier.
That's a good tip.
And it has 6 loops on the head here. And if you can see, there we go, 6 loops on the head. It actually has 6 sides on the rod. So you can put 1 loop or 1 stitch of the Lazy Daisy weave on each side if you want.
Okay.
But you don't have to use all the loops. You can use anywhere between 3 and 6 depending on the type of wire that you're using and what you want to achieve. For instance, this is the small tool. This is what we have as a 20 gauge wire. I'm not sure what the equivalent is.
It's like a 1 mil, is it?
I believe it's this.
Yeah, 0.8. So
0.8.
20 is 0.8.
All the way down to this very, very small gauge. So this little tool will do everything in between. So it looks big like a chainmail. What we did was we only used 3 of the loops instead of all 6 of them.
Okay.
So depending on what you want to make, that's kind of the determination. It has the flat surfaces, which makes it, as we do the weave, it's a little bit easier to get underneath to do the weave, so it makes it faster. On the bottom here, we actually have a little cone shape that serves 2 purposes. One is we can make a little coiled end cap with it.
Brilliant.
For decorative. The other thing that you can do is, as you're working, if your weave becomes tight, because you're pushing it out the top, you can actually remove it from the tool. If you press this in there because it's larger, it will just stretch that whole weave out, giving you plenty of space to work around it.
Brilliant. So you can use it in different ways then?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So wonderful. You have got the opportunity to get your hands on this today for just £19.95. Within this, you will be getting the daisy itself. Why Lazy Daisy?
Okay, well, here's the story on that.
Okay, go on.
When we were using the dowel to make it, this little wire part at the top actually looks like a flower. It was like a little 6-sided or 5-sided flower.
Okay.
So it was a flower you had to put on the top, so this became the Lazy daisy way of doing it.
I
so
adore
that.
That's super cute. So it is officially the lazy daisy way of doing it. £19.95. You also get your pin in here as well. So what's this for? Because it's obviously really important.
Can we take that out of there? I don't have mine here.
Absolutely.
This, now, when you're first starting out, you may want to use this pin. And all it's doing is, as you're working, let me get my glasses on here. As you're doing the weave, if it becomes tight and you're having trouble getting under the weave, you can lift it with this. That's all it does. It's just another tool. It's a lot of times people were using needles and awls. This works exactly the same, and it's a little tiny thing.
That's good.
I made this kit with all these small parts and pieces, mainly so that I could travel with it. Because this is not going to interfere with anything on the airplane.
No.
You know, they don't. It's not a sharp, long object.
No.
So you can use this to lift the wire. You want to be careful in the, you know, when you're using a colored wire, because generally they're going to be silver or copper underneath.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you lift the wire instead of poking it, because the wires that they have today are very strong. They the weaving generally does not tarnish them or hurt them. Pulling it through the draw plate doesn't bother them.
Okay.
But if you would to directly scratch them, there's a possibility that you could score the wire. But then once you get down, you know, an inch or so more, then you're just going to want to use this end, because then it's not going to hurt anything.
It's not going to bother.
So it's just a little tool, especially if you're going to do a double Viking knit. It's a little bit thicker than a single Viking knit, and sometimes you need to get underneath. So that's all the pin tool does. So those tools are all you need with your wire and then your draw plate to get started.
That's so wonderful. And one of the things that I have to say people adore, we always get comments about this, is the instruction manual inside. It is so easy to follow. You can see exactly it in photo form, but also it's explained to you exactly how to use it. Have you ever been to, you know, the big shop that's worldwide? You get the nice, no, not that one. No, furniture shop, yellow and blue, really nice sausages and ice cream at the end. Do you know what I mean? Meatballs, they do as well. Yeah, that's the one. Have you ever tried to follow their pieces to try and put up some flat pack furniture? It's impossible. You have to take a whole day off. This is really, really easy. It's all there in photo form. You've not got loads of pieces to lose and confuse. It's really, really wonderful. And not only will you be getting this instruction manual helping you out with different weeds, different gauges, etc., but also the lovely Stephanie is going to show us exactly how to be using this right now.
Okay. We have, I think, earlier today, they did a picture for us of what the stitch actually looks like, and I'll go ahead and start, and then if they can get that up on the monitor, then I can explain it a little bit better.
Wonderful, yeah, not a problem.
But there's three parts to this weave. There's going to be the loop that we're going to make. There is where the wires are going to cross each other, and then there's a very important wire in between. I can kind of show you on this sample here. So this, of course, is the loop, and then this is the cross at the bottom of the loop. But this space right in here between the two loops, that's the rung, and that's an important space as well. Yes, there we are. That's what I'm talking about.
So it's this one.
So we have our loop, our cross, and our rung. So three very distinctive parts to doing the Viking knit weave.
Okay.
Now, if you are right-handed, all you are going to be doing is making counterclockwise circles. If you're left-handed, you're going to go clockwise. That's all there is to this.
Easy.
Okay, so I'm going to use the wire from this kit. I'm hoping the pink will show up. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to, here's my hole. It's top to bottom, so I'm going to insert that right into the weave, just like that.
Okay.
And I am going to then press it down with my finger just to kind of hold it in place.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can kind of see that. Now, I'm going to make counterclockwise circles. And as I make that circle, what I'm doing is I'm coming down through one of the loops, and I usually go to the loop that's closest to the anchor, but remember you can change this.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to pull it around and cross it over. And I'm going to make it about the length of where this little area is cut out. That's just it's really just there to give you some type of a gauge.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter how wide these loops are. We're just looking at length right now. We want to keep them all about the same length.
Okay.
Now when I teach people how to do this, this has the 6 loops on the head. I have them use 3 to start out with so that they can get the flow and exactly know how the weave works, and then if they want to use all 6, it's easy for them.
I see.
So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to skip every other one so they can see very easily where I'm going. Okay.
So this is a nice way to get started, and then if you wish to progress, you can add more.
Then you can add it up. But you need to get the weave down first. So you can see all I'm doing is pulling this weave around and making that counterclockwise circle. So there's my 3 around.
Okay.
Now the length of the wire that I'm using, I usually use around 36 inches of wire, but it's really what you can handle.
Okay.
You don't want to make it too long so that it gets tangled, but then again, the heavier the wire is that you use, the longer you can leave it, because the less it will become tangled. So your very heavy wires, my husband, for instance, when he works with this gauge of a wire, he may work with actually 25 feet of wire and not have to splice the wire in at all.
Wow.
Because it doesn't get tangled. I mean, he'll stand in a room and he'll just pull it around. With the finer wires, you want to use a shorter amount.
Okay, so when you're working with, say, a 0.6 to a 0.8, you can use longer lengths, but with, say, a 0.4 or a 0.25, can be a little bit more boingy.
Yes, exactly. And when it comes off of the spool, it will have this curl. And you want to kind of run your thumb against that curl, and you want to make it as straight as possible.
Okay.
Okay. And so now what we're going to do is the same thing I was doing before. I was making that counterclockwise loop here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now all I'm going to do, I'm going to tell you a little story. So we're going to be pirates today, and we're going to go look for treasure.
Oh, I love this already. Stephanie, you're on my wavelength. I love this.
So the X marks the spot right here at the bottom of the loop where the treasure is. This is the shovel. All we're going to do is shovel all the way underneath. So it's underneath both of the wires where they're crossing. Now we're going to pull across the horizon, which means we're going this way, snug it up, and go south. And pull it directly down the tool and put your thumb on it.
I love that.
Okay, that's our technique. There are other techniques for doing it. Some people go up through the loop, when they're casting on. I have always found it easier to go down. My husband's story for that is he goes, when we were casting those on, he goes, the rabbit goes down through the hole and over the fence. He has some little story that he tells, and everybody remembers it.
I love that.
Okay, so again.
So we're a pirate. You're going X marks the spot.
X marks the spot.
Shovel in.
We're shoveling across.
Across the horizon.
Across the horizon and go south. Now the reason that we're doing this is because it's very important in Viking knit. You want to keep the column straight.
Yeah.
And column straight, the 2 things that will help is if you pull it down the column and put your thumb on it right away.
Okay.
What'll happen if you don't do that, it will start spinning around or start curving and spiraling around the tool, and that's not good.
No.
For 2 reasons actually. It probably will not lay flat as flat.
Okay.
Because it's going to want to keep that spiral. Because really we are working in a spiral right now. So if we further enhance that spiral by not keeping the column straight, then it doesn't tend to lay as flat.
Okay.
The other thing is if you're going to do any other kind of work where maybe you're going to add beads or you're doing like a double Viking knit or something, you've got to keep those columns straight again so you have the rung space. The rung space needs to be as even as the loops are.
Okay.
Now the other thing everybody asks is how big are the loops? Well, that depends.
Okay.
Some people are automatically going to make them really, really tight. The drawback to making it really tight is that's when you can damage your wire, because you have one piece of wire and you're pulling it over itself so many times. If it's really, really tight, that's when you can mar your finish.
Okay.
It also makes it much harder to get underneath it. And if it's loose there, you can whip and whip, and you can do 4 or 5 inches an hour of this. If you're having to stop because it's tight, and pick this up every time, it slows you down.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes it.
So loose is better. You don't want them so loose though that they're just a series of loops and you can't see where the pattern is.
Yes.
So ideally, one of the flat panels on here on the surface, the loop would be slightly less than that. So it would still leave enough room for your rung space and slightly less of a loop.
Wonderful.
Then it's much easier to get under. So that's all we're going to do is go under, pull across, and go south. That's the Viking knit weave. That's how simple this weave is.
So simple. And it really is just about keeping that tension, I presume.
Well, you know, the draw plate is really what's going to help you. Everybody, like I said, is going to have a different tension, and they will start maybe with one tension if they're new and get all the way down and they have a different tension. But I cannot encourage you enough. You have to get to the draw plate stage. Trust me. You may not think it looks good on here, and it probably won't. But the draw plate, let the draw plate do the hard work, do the heavy work, because it will even everything out. Because of the way this is looped, you saw that it's really just a loop hanging on a loop.
Yeah.
It's not like your traditional knitting or crocheting where you're actually locking the stitch in. Because this will move when you pull it through the draw plate, it allows it to actually extrude through there. So it actually, that's what allows it to stretch through.
I see.
And the other thing that people want to do is they really want to make that circle too fast. So so now here's where this anchor tail is, okay? This is the one that came through the back here and over here. You just have to move it slightly out of the way on this second row to get it underneath the loop. And so don't do this. Don't try and make the circle this way.
Okay, no.
Do that horizon and down the loop. Now what you can do is you can actually, the wire that's attached to that anchor, you can actually clip it right here, and you can pull this right out of the way. And it won't affect anything, and it'll still stay on there.
Oh, that's wonderful, because it's already kind of built on there.
It's already, you only need this really, the daisy head you really only need for that first row to get it started, because every other row is built upon the row you've just made.
Brilliant, so you've already got the strength there.
Exactly,
really.
Exactly. So that's all we're doing on that.
That is so wonderful. Now, we were talking earlier on about your different gauges. Now, I've got plenty of the 0.4 here, which is what you're currently working with, and then I've got the gauge up, which is a 0.6. So is this one going to be as boingy? Will you still be able to work with quite large lengths of this one?
Yes, now this one I would extend the length on, because it won't be, the finer the wire, the shorter you're going to want it to be, because it's just going to want to, you know, do its tangling thing. But one of the things that you can do is after you've gone horizontal, you've gone south, you've put your thumb on it, I automatically go all the way down the length of the wire, form the larger circle, and come back. Each time I just have an automatic way of doing that, and that keeps it a lot of times from getting tangled.
Brilliant. So you can use a mixture of gauges on this, which is absolutely fab.
You can.
And what's the different feel going to be? I've got two 0.4s here for you. I've got 100 meters worth of your chartreuse in the 0.4, and I've got 10 meters worth of the antiques bronze in your 0.4, and then I've got your 0.6 in this beautiful deep
that blue. Is beautiful.
It's really pretty,
it is.
Isn't it? So what kind of different feel are you going to get between these two gauges?
Between those two, it would probably be very subtle. Normally, I would do it between maybe this really heavy gauge and the fine gauge. Then you would notice, you know, a real difference. And it would be a texture. It would just be a real definite texture. This would be more of a color. Color change. This would be more of a texture to have the different gauges,
and
the extreme gauges.
Would you work with these colors together if you were?
These, where did we do? Oh, here. This is the one that my husband actually started this for me last night. You know, when we got our goodies.
So lovely. I met him before. He's so sweet.
So this is single Viking knit. It's on the larger tool, but you can do it on the smaller tool as well.
I have got the large tool coming up later.
This is working with the two different colors of wire at the same time. So as we showed earlier, you know, how we inserted the wire in through that anchor hole to get it started. Okay. When we run out of wire, we're also going to add the wire there as well. So we'll want to show them how to splice that secondary wire in. But when we're running with the two different colors, I'll get the pink color here. So I'm working currently with the green, and you can see we have done some transition in here already. There's no reason that I can't put one of these loops that we've already formed right over that anchor hole. We can insert another color of wire right through there, just like that. And then I'm going to start using this wire. I'm going to use this color now.
Oh, that's so simple.
It's very simple. And that's how you add wire too, when we go to add wire. So I'm going to go all the way around here. Again, underneath, horizontal, down, underneath. This is where we've spliced some of the wire in before. Okay, this is a technique I don't believe your viewers have seen before. Down, and again, across here. Make sure we're in the picture. And down. Oh, but look, my green wire is in the way now.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to drop the pink wire and work with this, the green wire. So this is a technique that we have coined, follow the leader, because you're following the lead wire around until, isn't that fun? And you could have multiple wires doing that, and you know, different colors that you could be blending. And I came up with this because I really wanted, I've used a lot of variegated yarns, you know, the different subtle shades of yarns, and I really wanted to try to recreate that with the wire, and they don't make a variegated wire that I have found.
No.
So this was a way of blending colors together without just having it black and white. You could kind of go black and grayish white and then go to the other color.
Absolutely.
So that's a technique that your viewers may find fun. So that's another way to use these different kinds of wires, the colors together, is to blend them together.
Because now you've got my imagination going, Stephanie, because I'm thinking now.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
That's what we want.
This is kind of, I'm thinking a tree now, so I'm thinking start with the top, going down to the bottom, and then maybe the sky or the sea.
Yes, exactly. That would be wonderful. You know, you could almost, in case, do a round type of Viking knit, and then use these in it, and then do your like your tree of life with these, and put that in the center of the Viking knit.
Oh,
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I love that idea.
That would be really fun. I think that would be a good one.
That's stunning. This should have been £21.95 for 120 metres worth of your wire. It's yours today though at just £12.35 for you today. Get your hands on it whilst you can. You've seen how wonderful this tool is for adding in these different colours, and it gives you a really nice subtlety, doesn't it?
It does. You can have a contrast or you can have it subtle. And this green, I must say, this green is really beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful mint chartreuse green.
It's really pretty,
really
isn't
is.
it?
Yes,
it's a really special one. Do treat yourself to this today. It is. What gauge would you say is best to start on?
I was always a proponent of what we would have as a 26 gauge wire in the US.
Okay.
Now I really like this one.
0.6.
Yes, yes. It has a little bit more body to it, but it's still very flexible.
I see.
So I start with that, and then go to the 26, and then go to the heavier wires. I rarely use a very, very fine wire. You can. I mean, this is.
That's really fine.
That's really fine, and we kind of just did it to say we could.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
But yeah, I really would. It doesn't really have a practical use.
No. But
any kind of a wire that will hold a shape you can use with the Lazy Daisy.
That's wonderful, isn't it? It's really, really special. Get your hands on this today, £12.35. Now I have got coming up for you the draw plate very shortly.
Yes.
Now, why is this so important?
Viking knit.
Why does, when you do your Viking knit on the Lazy Daisy, you said as soon as you draw it through the draw plate, it becomes something else, and it really does. It makes it look very professional.
Professional, yes.
It really does.
Viking knit, there are 2 steps to it. So you have your tool, you have your basic, Viking knit tools.
So your Lazy Daisies.
And you've done your weave, and then you may get a weave that looks something like this. The one on this side is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's not bad. I still, even if you're that precise with them, I still don't think they look that great. But you could use that. But now you see this one over here. It's not quite so pretty there. It's a bit wonky.
Yeah, it is a bit wonky.
Yes,
it looks like it's been through the mill a few times.
Yes. Well, so here's what happens when you pull it through the draw plate. So this one has become like that, and this one has become like that. So that's the difference.
Amazing, isn't it? What am I having in that one? Really, that is astonishing.
I mean, this is really the finishing step. You've really got to get to this point. And now when we brought these through the draw plate, we brought it through progressively.
Yes.
So depending on what size of Lazy Daisy tool, this size we would start drawing here, and you have to do it as a progression. You can't just start here. No. Even though that's where your final destination is, you have to do it gradually. And with this one, we would always start here and work our way down each time.
So that is one of the things that gives you a beautiful symmetry, I
suppose. It is.
That's
what's going to form the really beautiful part of the chain. You really have to get to that. Your weave may not look good. You've got to get to the draw plate. You've got to get to the draw plate.
Now you obviously have your different measurements on here.
Smaller the chain. Now, okay, let's maybe just briefly say what the difference between these two tools is, because that relates to this.
Yeah.
If you want to have a chain that's very supple and moves a lot, and is a loose kind of chain, you have to do it on the 1/4" tool.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it will give you the most flexibility and get you the smallest chain.
Okay.
Okay. The 1/2" tool, you can still pull relatively small depending on the number of loops that you use, but it's a stiffer weave.
Okay.
Okay. So the larger ones, like the piece I'm wearing, I like to have larger pieces, and the more heavier the wire is, or the more number of wires that you use, you may want to use the larger holes.
Okay.
You always will want to refine it at some point. Now you can also do what we call a flat Viking knit. Now this particular necklace actually has a flat Viking knit. This is flat Viking knit here, but it started out as round, but it's flat now. Yeah. Okay. That was the reason for pulling it through that larger hole. I didn't go any further than that because I wanted to keep the maximum amount of width on there.
Okay.
So if you want to make something wide or heavy, then you can use these larger ones. The smaller ones will give you more of maybe your pendants, or if you want to do something like a vine. Perhaps you want to do something that's very scrolly. You can insert a small wire, heavier wire through your small weave, and then you can actually sculpt with it. Oh my God. So there's so many things and so many ways that you can use these weaves. It's a whole new frontier, really, since we've come up with this tool. Before that, all I had really seen are just fine gold and fine silver bracelets, because it was so difficult to make.
Yeah, of course.
And because this is faster and easier to make, and you can use the colored wires, it's kind of endless as to what you can do with it. I've just seen some really, really beautiful things done with it.
I adore the fact about this technique, about the Lazy Daisy, about the Viking knit, that the first time I ever saw it, I didn't realize someone had made it.
Ah, yes, it doesn't. It looks like it's machined. Almost, it really does. Yeah. It really does.
It's just wonderful that you can get these looks and techniques
Well, it's just such a fun journey, and everybody, when we go to shows, they're always astounded that this kind of an abstract, kind of not so pretty weave can really become
so beautiful.
Something, really nice.
That's astonishing.
It's just a matter of pulling it through there.
And you also get your conditioning cloth.
Yes, the conditioning cloth. Now, I don't always use it, but I like to use it when I have it. Mm-hmm. All it is a very soft cloth. It's just a soft cloth. And what I like to do is, before we pull something through the draw plate, let's say we were going to pull this through the draw plate.
Okay.
I would have taken this off with my Lazy Daisy tool.
Yeah.
I would take some scrap wire, and I would put little handles on the end here. That's what this is. This green section, because it's going to be cut off. So this is what I would use to pull it through there.
Okay, good.
But before I did that, I like to take the cloth and I just gently roll it with my fingers. Okay. It's kind of like when you were a little child and you had like little coils of clay, and you would press them. What it does is, as you're adding when you add wire, splice your wire in, sometimes you'll get a little bulge there, or a bump of some sort. Well, this presses then everything to the inside instead of the outside, and then pulling it through the plate, it just kind of loosens it up and just makes it easier to pull through the draw plate. But it's really simple to pull through the draw plate, even if you didn't do this. It's just a habit, and it's how I learned, and so I like to pass it on because I think it has value.
That's good. No, it definitely does. So it's almost a settling way.
Yes, it does. It kind of settles it off of the tool, gets it initially loosened up so that it's just ready to go.
That is so wonderful. So you're getting both of these on your screen today for a tiny £9.95. This is your drawer plate with the conditioning cloth, and again it come with a little bit of instruction within there, which is really useful. Don't forget too, you can watch us back on our YouTube channel, and if you've just tuned in now and thought, oh no, I've just missed that first bit, don't worry, we are repeated throughout the evening, so you can watch us after 9 o'clock all the way through till 9 o'clock this morning, and we are going to put this up on YouTube, so do stay tuned for that also. £9.95, get your hands on this today to really give you a professional finish, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, you need to have both of them. You're just not going to be happy with it if you don't do the draw plate.
No, definitely.
You just have to trust me on that. You really have to have the two parts.
When you sort of came up with the Lazy Daisy, did you instantly come up with the draw plate as well?
No, that was part of the whole thing. Okay. I mean, when the ancients used this, when you draw down wire, like in a machine shop or something, it starts, you know, maybe it's this large, and they do the same thing. I mean, they're going to pull that metal through what they call a draw plate to make to make this fine wire.
Yes.
So that was how they were doing it. They were taking a single wire, doing a simple weave, pulling it through a draw plate, and what it does is it reduces it down and it makes it extremely strong. Okay. So that was part of the process. This is nothing new that I have come up with. I've developed a tool to make it easier, but the weave itself and the technique is centuries old.
Ancient.
It is. It's ancient. Really it is. It's ancient technology.
And it is creating beautiful effects. It truly, truly is. Now, we are going to be back with Stephanie. I've got a few questions for you now.
Yes, I'm betting you do.
Got quite a few, so we're going to squeeze some in now. We've got time for some later as well. This one's from lovely Michelle. Hello, Michelle in Greater Manchester. She says, can Stephanie give us some tips how to stop the weave from twisting around, please? My loops are neat, but the finished columns are always twisted. Thanks. Thank you very much for that, Michelle.
Okay, so that will go back to what we were talking about earlier. Let me find my weave. That goes directly back to making sure your columns are straight. So when you go under that weave, see, if you pull this way, then you're making it want to turn that way. If you do this too fast. So if you do that horizontal, if you pull it straight down the column and put your thumb on it, that's when it doesn't go anywhere. It's when you do this and you don't do this, see how it's starting to turn already?
Yeah,
you've got to make it stationary. Yes, yes, you don't want the corkscrew.
No.
Now you can kind of twist it back out again, but it's in there. Okay. You really want to try to avoid that. So the best way is going under the weave, under the X that we talked about, going horizontal and down.
Brilliant.
Lock it in, then move your wire to the right.
Still
or whichever
keeping
way
your
you're
thumb
going.
on that.
I always have my thumb. You don't need to, and some people are down here with it.
No.
But you don't need to see it at all.
No.
Make it go away. Put your thumb right on top of that loop. Don't even look at it. You don't need to see that loop.
No.
It's not there anymore.
Okay.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. It's vanished.
So that should keep your column straight.
Wonderful. I hope that helps you, Michelle. Thank you very much for messaging that in. We've got some more. This one is from Margaret. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Stephanie. Beautiful designs. When you are working with two colour wires, where does the wire sit when you are going to work the second wire?
Where does the wire sit?
So when you've got the two colours of wire, where does the wire sit when you're going to go onto the second?
Okay, so let me put it back on here. And when you add a second wire, the techniques that you use, and we didn't get to the splice, you know, how to add a wire, but those splicing techniques follow through to using two wires. I mean, you're going to do those exactly the same. But they're going to be running down the columns doing the same thing. So you're always going to have one wire ahead of the other wire, and it's going to catch up, and it's just going to sit here.
Okay.
Until it's time for it to be used again.
So you can just ignore it. You can just leave
you're just going to drop this wire. It's kind of, I don't know if she may be familiar with knitting. If you're knitting and you're doing a design like a snowman, the background is white, and then you're going to make his, you know, the orange nose. So you drop the white and you pick up the orange until you don't need it anymore, and then you drop it and pick up the white again.
I see.
That's what this is doing. So I'm done with the pink because my green's in the way. I'm going to work the green all the way around and just leave this hanging here until I need it again. Then I will pick it up and bring it around. So they're just going to chase each other all the way around. They're just going to keep doing that.
Wonderful.
And then if you want to stop one of the colors, you're just going to leave it underneath. You're going to be burying it with your regular splicing technique, and then you can just go back to the one solid color wire again.
Wonderful.
And kind of see. So here's your solid. Here's where it's blended, and here I've gone to solid again.
Yeah.
And then I would start blending here again.
Wonderful.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. Thank you very, very much for sending that in, love. We've got another one. We've got loads in for you today. Do check out your baskets for me, lovely ladies and gentlemen. I've probably got about 10 in baskets at the moment. Do just check those out. Can Stephanie explain, please, how to take colour-coated wire through the draw plate without removing the colour coating, please? Thank you. Good question. So is this a technique of drawing it down? Is it a speed thing?
No, you do want to go slow.
Slowly.
Slow, not so much for the coating, but to keep that spiral out of it.
Okay, yes.
So you don't want to draw it too fast. It may be, if she's having problems with going through draw plate with the wire, I would say it may be the quality of the wire, because that is generally not a problem. And the draw plate that we have is a plastic. It has a bevel in it, so you want to pull from the front to the back, so it has a slight bevel in the front, and pull it very, very slow but very precise through there. But slow is good. But it shouldn't scratch it at all.
No.
No. So
possibly make sure you're using the front. So when we say the front, we mean the side with the measurements on.
The front that has the measurements on it.
Because the other side is flatter, isn't it?
It is. It is flat on this side, and then it has a bevel on this side. So you want to go front to back, slowly through. The only other thing I could think of is if it was possibly damaged in the weaving process. If it was weaving too tight, then that might accentuate it when it comes through the draw plate.
Yeah.
I have found that particularly this happens with black wire. No matter how careful you are, sometimes that black wire may become scratched, or another color may become scratched. If you have access to permanent markers in those colors, you can actually touch it up, and it really does work. So that's another thing, but you don't want to have it all that way unless you're going for that antique look.
Well, yes.
I've had some students in class where they were so tight that the copper backing started showing through, so we took a little piece of sandpaper and we roughed up that surface, and then it looked great, and it looked like they had an antique object.
That's fab.
So, but unless that's what you're going for, yeah, you don't want necessarily. So loosen the wire as you're weaving, for one thing, and slow and determinate through the draw plate.
Fab. Always
and a good quality wire.
As
good quality wire, because it may be the wire.
And make sure that you don't just jump, like we said before, because I'm sure that could damage the wire.
Well, and the other thing is to make sure that you are doing the progression down.
Yes, the progression.
So if you're taking this, this half-inch size and immediately trying to go way down here to the 3/8, you're going to crush that wire, and then you're going to damage it. So you have to make sure that you do the step down.
Okay,
so that's the other thing.
Thank you very, very much for that. And now we've had lots of people messaging about how we have flattened this.
Oh, I knew that would happen.
Because I saw it and fell absolutely in love. We've had loads of messaging. Thank you. We've had so many. Thank you for everyone who sent them in. How have we managed to flatten it for this piece here? Because it's got a chainmail look to it.
Doesn't it? Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It really does.
Okay, so I thought, well, how am I going to make a flat Viking knit? So I tried to come up with a flat, tool, and I couldn't do it. And I thought, well, what if I, flatten the round one? Well, then it, and I did it, and I did a roller on it, and it was awful. So, process of elimination, I finally came up with a technique. So here's what you have to know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter which tool you do it on. You can actually do it on the 1/4" tool as well. I've done it on the 1/4" tool, done 2 strips and then put pearls or stones in between with head pins to make it wider.
Ooh,
that makes a lovely one. Okay, so here's the trick. You have to use an even number of loops.
Okay.
So on your large tool, you're going to use 6, 8, 10. On your smaller tool, I would say you really probably want to use all 6 of them. You have to have even number of loops.
Okay.
You absolutely have to have those columns straight. Okay. So this is not something that you want to start in the beginning. You want to make sure that you've got those columns straight. And then when you splice your wires in, you know, normally when we do Viking knit, it doesn't matter where you splice the wire in. You run out of wire, you splice the wire in.
Okay.
When you're going to go flat, you want to add it in the same column each time. And actually, I think we've done that on this. It may be hard to see. Let's see here. Where is the splice?
You've done it so seamlessly.
Yeah. Anyway, the splice is here, so if I was going to add another wire, I'm going to do it in this column each time.
Okay.
Because what that will do is when I do flatten it, all of that splice will be in the back. So it also gives more structure because there's more wire in that particular column. It's stronger there, and it actually will bend nicer. So you can actually get a, you know, if you want to do a bracelet, it won't matter so much. But a necklace, if you want it to hang better, you can actually fold it, you know, or start pressing it along that line where it's heavier. So it will scoop better. It'll give you a better line on it. The other thing is you still need, you're going to have to pull it through the draw plate at least, I'd say at least twice.
Okay.
So that's, again, having your columns already straight and making sure that you have that equal rung space throughout the whole thing will make that easier. So then once you have that done, all you have to do is, I'll just do it on this one. You're going to find your center column. This is the one that has all the splices.
Yeah.
And this has 6 on it.
Okay.
And remember that I haven't pulled this through the draw plate, so it's not going to look exactly the same. And just take it and you press fingers along the column.
So just backing up along that column.
So I do this column and then I press it on this column. And then I will often take my draw plate.
Okay.
And just try to even it out a little bit, like that.
Oh, I see. So you flatten it down.
It's just flat. Now, the other thing is, see this?
Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
You don't want to flatten it any thinner than the width of this column.
No.
The first thing that I did was, of course, I took a roller and tried to roll it, and it was awful, and I ruined the whole thing.
I was going to say you must weaken the wire.
Well, it doesn't weaken it, it compresses it, and it won't move.
Right, okay.
This, you know, this way it will keep moving because it still has structure, and you can put head pins of things through it, and you can make dangles off of necklaces and all kinds of things. So that's the flat Viking knit. It's your round Viking knit with a few tricks, and you got a whole new thing to play with.
I love that, and actually I love it with the coloured graduation.
Yeah, it still looks good that way.
It looks stunning.
In this particular piece, there are a lot of the flat Viking knit ribbons in here. I don't know if they can get a close-up, but all of these are flat Viking knit that I've just formed into ribbons. So this is kind of to look like a little Mardi Gras there. So those are all flat Viking knits that I've shaped around.
I absolutely adore that.
So that's another fun thing. I'm telling you, there are so many things you can do with this.
I absolutely adore it.
So we've got multiple colors going, different gauges of wire. We can insert things inside of them. You can add beads to them. I don't think we'll get to that today, but there is a way to add beads without going through the draw plate.
Wow.
You can do the flat Viking knit. You know, you can have fun.
There is so much.
You need to get the tool, you can really have fun, and it's fast and easy.
I have got more tools and goodies coming up for you shortly. Very, very quickly, we're going to squeeze in a little bit of twisted wire for you right now. Just because we've been talking about different colours and how well they work together, and let's face it, you're not afraid of colour, are you, Stephanie?
No.
No, it's not an issue for you.
We have a love affair, actually.
Really? Yes, I can tell that. Definitely can tell that. I've got lots of twisted wire here for you today. Now, this is one of very, very popular combinations, actually, the black and the silver. This is your 1mm twisted wire, 10 metres width on here. So essentially, it's your 1mm wire, 20 metres worth twisted together, which means you have got this beautiful twist effect. Great for using on cuffs, great as a base wire effect on here as well. You've also got the 0.8mm in the 10 metres. Now this is your gold and silver. And then lastly, but by no means leastly, you have the 0.6 10 metres in the beautiful copper on copper effect. So it's two sets of 1mm twisted, so essentially it's a 2mm thickness. You've then got your 0.8, which is essentially doubled, and again for your 0.6 as well. So you've got 30 metres worth of this in total. Your price on these today should be £16 an inch. We're looking at these because we saw that you've used quite a few of these colours actually in your piece, haven't you? You go for, so in your steampunk one, you've got the silvers, the golds, the antique bronze is in there.
Yes.
Why do you think these colours work so well together?
I don't know. They just do.
They
just do.
It's kind of a steampunky vintage.
It is, yeah. It's vintage. That's exactly what it is. It's it's vintage.
It's a vintage effect that you're getting with this colour palette today. $11.95 all. Now, lovely Stephanie, I'm leaving you for a short time, but we'll be back to you in a bit.
All right.
We're going to be back with the lovely Stephanie very, very soon, probably in about half an hour, actually.
Okay, that sounds good.
What are we going to be looking at next time?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we need to look and see what our viewers want to see. I'm guessing they're going to want to see how to add the wire.
Yes.
I think that's essential, and there's special techniques for that, and I would like to show them that.
Fab.
But otherwise, maybe they have some ideas what they would like to see. I don't know.
I love that. Get your messages in. What would you like to see? Would you like to see how to encase them? Would you like to see how to add on gemstones? Would you like to see how to add on more wire? Whatever it is, Stephanie's your lady, to be honest. Start your text with the word JM Studio 60777, or just get yourself on our website. It's jewellerymaker.com. Now, we're going to be back with Stephanie, but after this break, we have got Tanzanite.
Ooh. Nice.
New gemstone strands, and the gemstone I've actually only been able to hold once ever, the very, very rarest of rare aragonite. All of those coming up to you after this short break.
Jewellery makers, if you're a Freeview viewer, you can now continue to watch the show live by switching over to channel 64. Our brand new 24-hour channel is available to the majority of homes in the UK, so grab your remote now to make sure you don't miss a thing.
Do you need a helping hand to get started with Jewellery Maker? Are you stuck for ideas and need inspiration? Then visit our Jewellery Maker website, where you can find our video tutorials. Expand your knowledge and skills with these easy-to-follow jewellery making demonstrations. Whether you're a beginner, hobbyist, or business owner, there's always something new to learn. It couldn't be easier. Simply click and learn some new jewellery making techniques. Do you have a question that you need answering?
Well, did you know you can ask to speak to an accredited jewellery professional in our call centre?
Trained by the GIA, you can ask us any gemological question and we'll do our best to help.
We don't just sell gemstones, we know gemstones.
That's why when you buy from us, you're buying with confidence. Buy your genuine gemstones from genuine accredited jewellery professionals.
Welcome back to Designer Inspiration. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's Designer Inspiration. It's a very, very special day because not only is it my half birthday. Oh! Yeah, half birthday. Oh! It's exactly 6 months since my birthday, yeah. I personally think the half birthday is more important than the actual birthday because I'm not getting older today, am I? Which is lovely, I like that. Not only is it officially my half birthday, but I am also joined by the absolutely wonderful, you've seen some of her designs, we've had a chat to her, we're going to be heading back to her, lovely, lovely, super talented Stephanie! Hello Stephanie, how are you?
How are you?
How's your afternoon going?
Well, just up for this challenge I've been thinking about. So
Yeah?
make something really special.
Have we got some ideas?
Well, they're working.
They're working, they're working. I like that. The cocks are going, they're thinking about it. Now, I've got new coming up for you. I've got Aragonite coming up for you. I've got Tanzanite coming up, and I have just got bargains galore. So let's get started, shall we? Where are we starting off? The Trilliant cut. Brand new strand. Ooh, this is lush. Now, described as orange, I'm saying more amber. I'm saying more golden, sun-kissed glow. What are you saying? Have a little look. What colour do you think? Kind of a burnt umber? Ambers. Ben's going for a marmalade. I like that, Ben. Marmalade. Marmalade's good. Thick cut. You need one with the bits, don't you? This has got the bits in it, hasn't it? What colour are you saying, Ryan? Put him on the spot. Cameraman Ryan?
Sunsets.
Red sunset. I like that.
Something sun.
Something sun. Something sunny. Helena, producer Helena, what are you saying? Liquid magma. Oh, don't show off, Helena. Liquid magma. Whatever colour you're thinking this is, I think we can all admit it's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Let me show you on that white background. Look at how delicate this is. I love this because this is going to go so well with sunstone, isn't it? You know sunstone, when you get that gorgeous evanescence inside, what about with your peach moonstone as well? That's going to work exceptionally. If you were lucky enough to get the amber, when we had the amber on, gonna go perfectly as well, isn't it? Whatever colour you're thinking this is, I think we can all agree it's going to be great for the summer and springtime colours, but it's also got a touch of the autumnal, hasn't it? Even with that internal texture, it's always got that crisp leaf on the floor, isn't it? Oh, I just rolled my R by accident. Crisp leaf. Oh, I love that. Deep and crisp and even. Oh, love it. Good. Not yet, not yet. Although we did have our Christmas show a few weeks ago, didn't we? It has got a beautiful internal effect. It is brand spanking new for you today. Maybe you're getting ready for your autumn collection. Maybe you're getting ready for your Christmas time themes. This is going to be one for you to get your hands on. It's yours today for just £7.95. These are your beautiful Trilliant cut. Now let me just show you. Ignore the kind of strand in between, but we can use them as the triangles. You could use them nose to nose. I think nose to nose is really cute. Isn't that fab? Because you've got like a bow tie effect there, haven't you? You can use them flat side to flat side as well. If you were to do that, you've got a diamond shape, a kite shape, haven't you? And I love them just stranded as it is, like this. That as a bracelet, as a stretchy bracelet, done in moments. I've got multi-buyers on this. Congratulations, everyone. £7.95 to get your hands on this brand new beauty. It is really just a stunning colour, a really gorgeous effect that we have within here. £7.95 for you today. YKPO49, that's your code. Say that to me again, Helena, love. Labradorite. Are you rolling your R's then? She tried, she can't do it. Not showing off. I have got your Labradorite here. Now, I saw, where was I? It was the day after the festival. Now, I went to, in Chester, they've got the Open Door Theatre on at the moment. It's very, very good. And they have little sort of stalls around there at the weekend. And I saw a Labradorite pair of earrings. It was handmade. There was a lovely lady there. I did say if you watched Jewellery Maker, she said she hadn't, which you could tell, because some of the prices on her pieces were quite high up. A pair of drop labradorite earrings she had created, just a pair with one drop, similar size to this, she'd sold for £25. And that's because the strand that she got, the price was so high, she wasn't actually making that much money off it. The fact of the matter is, the quality on this strand is the same to my eye, but the price is nowhere near. Look at the Schiller and look at the Labradorescence on this. Now, Labradorescence it's a really in-depth thing to explain, but I've got a simple way of describing it to you. Essentially, Labradorescence is due to the formation of these. So you have different structures. You will have the structure, say, that a topaz will have, which will be your axis A. Let me show you with my hands. I'll show you with my hands. So, axis A on a structure of a gemstone is the longest section, and then you'll have your axis C, which is usually the shortest section. Now, on, say, a topaz or even a quartz, they will be in line like this. However, with things like labradorite, they are slightly at an angle. Now, that means that when the light enters, it can't just skim through. It gets caught in this labyrinth of the crystal structure, all at different angles, and as opposed to the light just entering and exiting, it almost gets caught within there, like a skim across the surface. And that's why you get kind of planetary glow, actually, isn't it, this blue? It's a really hard blue to describe, but it is so, it's kind of that cosmic blue, isn't it? So beautiful. 80 carats worth we've got of this labradorite. Now, labradorite, when I used to bring you labradorite, when I started in November, so sort of 9 months ago now, I remember bringing labradorite to you and trying to find the Schiller point, trying to find it underneath these lights, because the lights in here genuinely do kill it. The fact of the matter is, you can see it without me even having to try. You can see on every single one of these. That's because of the quality of this labradorite. That's because this is such high quality. The structure of this within, given from Mother Nature, is so symmetrical that the lighting internally within here is so special, and that goes to show the quality of this. The fact of the matter is, the lady at the craft stall who I saw her pair of earrings, £25, I saw them on the stall, went back later, she had sold them just for a pair of drops. The size was, to me, the centre of these, the centre of the strand, so the largest ones, £25, just one of each. Your price today for an entire strand is nowhere near that. Let's have a look at this. I've got one pair, two pair, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pairs of earrings I've got on here. 18 pairs. That would be 44p per pair. That is astonishing, isn't it? It truly is absolutely astonishing. Now, don't get me wrong, of course, I know you're going to have to add your shepherd's hooks, etc. to this, but even if you're adding 95 shepherd's hooks at the prices we do, you're easily going to be able to get yourself your shepherd's hooks for, what, an extra £2 a pair, for 925, maybe £2 or £3 a pair. So you can make yourself a pair of 925 genuine labradorite earrings for, what, £3.44? That lady was selling them for £25, and they went, I only did a circuit. I only went to get a wine, I won't lie. I only went to get a wine. Back, they'd gone. £7.95 for the entire strand. There is so many of you getting your hands on this. Hello, Pat in Menorca. You're right, love. You've got loads of people. You've got them for a screen, actually. North Yorkshire. I've got Hampshire. Where's Linda from? K-Y. Where's that from? Is that is that America? Kentucky. Kentucky! Woo! Yeah! You feel like you're at home now, do you?
Well, yeah.
£7.95. Lots of people from all over the world getting your hands on this. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's lovely to be with you. £7.95. Last chance to purchase though, because boy oh boys, these are flying. Flying. Say that number to me again, Sweet Pea. On my left. Oh, to the left, to the left. Oh my goodness, these are... No, they're not. These are going to fly out. think of something that flies really fast. What flies really fast? Concorde, that doesn't fly anymore, Director Ben, does it? This is going to go so, so quick. You have no idea. Look at the size of these pearls. They are whoppers. Look at this, look. They are huge. What's the size on these? Oh my goodness, 11 mil. 11 by 10 mil Baroque style pearls. What do you think of these, lovely Stephanie?
You know, those would be perfect with that kit you just had that had the silver and the mint color in it with the wire.
Oh my gosh,
they'd be beautiful
so
in that.
That's so right. These are really sad, but actually, Joe reminds me of Tiffany. Let me show you, hang on. Wait there, get me book out. You know, I love a good book, don't I? This is reminding me, now where is it? Now, Tiffany, of course, I'm sure we all know Tiffany & Co. A massive, massive company, aren't they? Massive organisation, known for working with the big ones, such as your diamonds. They are what make Tanzanite kind of shoot into the public knowledge. They work with really, really high-end pieces. And I saw this and just thought, people at home could create that. Easy peasy. Take a little look at this piece. Have you got mesh at home? Oh my goodness. This is really simply a wire mesh base, really just the same as the mesh that we bring you here. And look at all of these Baroque pearls all over these. Now this sold for, well, let's just say it was a 5-figure sum, this piece sold for. And I'm loving the fact that these Baroque pearls, how gorgeously would that go? Even the colour palette's the same actually, isn't it? It goes well with the mesh, it's going well with the natural white pearls in there as well. Such a stunning, stunning piece, really easy for you to create. Blimey, Charlie, I better get the price on, hadn't I? Because I've got hardly any left already. Your price today for massive natural pearls, $7.95. Sorry, I don't mean to point and laugh at you, Stephanie. It's your face then. What do you think of that price?
That's a great price. Really?
It's astonishing, isn't it?
And they're beautiful. They're a beautiful color. They've got a little greenish tint with the gray. They're quite beautiful.
I think they're stunning. Let me show you this against the neckline as well, because I think this is always really important. It's all well and good me sort of holding out to you, but it's quite hard to then. Let me get this touching at the back. There we go. That's touching at the back. So that's, again, necklace length for me, perfectly. Isn't that stunning? These are really sizable. You know, those rings are really in fashion at the moment, aren't they? The pearl rings, gorgeous. These, now, they're often done with the plain rounds, aren't they? In fact, we've got some in the shop. They're often done with the plain rounds. If you want that effect but a little more subtle, then what about going for a Baroque? Because you've got the flattened back there, haven't you? So it's going to rest nicely against your ring finger or your hand. I've got so many multi-buyers. I've got more multi-buyers than I have single buyers. You've gone off my screen again. Way over half of my stock's gone already. At that price point, you genuinely need to be thinking ahead. That's what I would say to you. Do think ahead. I cannot tell you enough how few pearls we have got coming up in the next, well, November to December. It's been so hard to get hold of them, genuinely. I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of the film, and I've talked to you a lot about it, the film Vanishing Pearls that came out at the end of April, I think it was, when I watched it. End of April, Vanishing Pearls, all to do with natural disasters, tsunamis, man-made issues as well, oil slicks and spills, and how that's impacted and affected upon the cultivation of pearls. And the fact of the matter is, due to that and many other factors, it's so hard to get our hands on pearls. The pearls that we've been looking at the moment are gone up by around 40% for us to purchase. Now, of course, when we're looking at that, think about that amount, even just on, say, a £10 strand, you're going to be looking at a 40% rise upon that, and that's even at our prices, but then that's for us to buy it at that price. So, of course, we'll have to raise it a little bit more. It's just so hard for us to get our hands on pearls. In December, we've already, you know, had our shipment coming through. We know exactly what's coming through, obviously, because we get it months and months in advance. We have got probably about, when it comes to pearls, Probably about 90% of the pearls we've got coming to you are shell pearls. And only about 10%, in fact, I'm going to say not even that, you know, maybe only 5% are genuine pearls. So if you want it, get it now. It really could be your last opportunity. When we get to November, you'll see a massive decrease in this, you really will. Tiny amount left, that's it. Gone, it's gone. Check out your basket, £7.95 for you today. Now, oh, I didn't realise this was coming up. Oh my God! When I came into my pre-production meeting today, you know you're still in holiday mode. Not that I've actually been anywhere, but you know you're still in holiday mode. I didn't actually realise that my favourite cut in the whole wide world was on the show today. But it is. It's the concave cut. This cut isn't created by lapidarists, like the majority. Say that to me again. Amazing price on this. You are getting a gemstone which isn't cut by lapidarists, like, you know, the vast majority of gemstones are. This is cut by someone who trained to be a lapidarist for minimum 10 up to 20 years, and then have decided to go in another direction, and they decide to learn to create this cut, at which point they will go on another 10 to 15 year training process on top of the lapidarist course, at which case, if they do manage to pass that, they will be able to cut this gemstone, and they are no longer known as a lapidarist, they are called a concave artist. And at that point, they are only allowed to create this cut. That's it. Once you've learnt this cut, you cannot go back. You can't go to create the baguette cut, the princess cut. You can't just shape gemstones into rounds. You are only able to create this cut. That is the amount of work that goes into this. It's almost unfathomable. It really, truly is. It's so called the concave cut due to the facets themselves. So, a facet, as you would imagine, a general facet will of course be flat, won't it? And on different gemstones there'll be many different sizes. So, you know, your table will be one size and one shape, going down to the pavilion, the girdle, going down to the culée. All of those will be different shapes, won't they? And they're generally flat. On a concave, though, as opposed to a flat, each one of them has got an undulation. Now, these are all hand done on a lathe, on a piece. They're all hand created. Now, that means that when the light enters, oh, get you, Ben, with one of my slides already. Gosh, you're good, aren't you? Oh, I've missed you. You can see here he's working on that lathe. So every single one of those is hand done, and you have to push your gemstone into the perfect U shape. If you even got one of those facets slightly larger in size than it should be, it would throw off the whole look of the gem, and it would be waste, essentially. Now, one of the main things that I adore about the concave cut is the look. Okay, I'm in Last Chance Saloon. Almost in Last Chance Saloon. 37 at this moment in time with the people who've checked out. So do get it quick if you so wish. Now, this is one of the main things that concave cut does. Have a little look. It plays and bends the light. Just enjoy the light, the fire inside this as I move it. Now, can you see the light running through this? Can you see it's getting dark spots? It's getting heat spots now. You see the heat spots coming in? Look at this fire, it's about to enter. Fire there. See this? Oh my goodness, it's that bit there that I love. See this again. Can you see every single angle we're moving this at? You're getting the crisscross pattern, you're getting this fire, you're getting the life of this gem. Okay, Last Chance Saloon, I'm at the bar. Generally, you'll have 3 on a strand, won't you? Generally. That's when I started doing the concave cut. Bearing in mind, we've not had the concave cut that long at all. When we had the concave, we started with 3 per strand. That was it. On this strand, 3, 6, 10. I've got 10 concave cuts on this strand. Now, please bear in mind as well, we say that a plain round in general, this is obviously very, very general, from start to finish when it's been brought into the workshop, so from getting it in the rough to polishing it, shaping it, drilling a hole through it, etc., etc., per round will take about 8 to 9, maybe 10 minutes to create every single one. Each one of a concave is taking more like 45 minutes. Every single one. So essentially you've got about 8 hours worth of work, a whole day's worth of work on one strand. This is seriously high quality green amethyst. Let's face it, if it wasn't, why would they spend a whole day creating this strand? Your price is phenomenal. £49.95. That works out at £4.99 per one. An hour's worth of work on a genuine gemstone. This is phenomenal. Think of that as the price of one pendant. That for me would be, I'll be honest with you, I adore this cut so much. I would be more than happy to pay £50 just for one drop pendant of this. I truly would. Another thing I really want to point out to you is the fact that look at the quality. There are no dark spots in this. There's no inclusions at all in here. You've just got light play, fun, bounce, quality. I've had a text in about this actually. Tiny amount left. From Gillian. Hello Gillian, how are you? She said, bought these last week. They are lovely. Wish I could afford a second strand. Oh Gillian, you've got one. It's all right, you have got one. Have you come up with any ideas for it yet? I'm thinking pendant, earrings, one on a bracelet. I'm thinking a whole suite actually. What do you think of this strand, Stephanie? Are you a bit of a mag?
You know, the facets are so restful and beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful stone.
It is calming again, like you said, isn't it?
It's very, and it's like a little cathedral.
Oh my goodness,
you know,
you're right.
It's just such a beautiful cut. I've never seen anything like that. It's beautiful.
It is so stunning, and can you see why they go to so much work to create this?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Literally a lifetime's work can go into creating this. I wish I could do this cut. That would be amazing. I can't, obviously. You've got just so. Now I've got to move on. Handful left of these. That's it. £49.95. Truly, for me, the most beautiful cut on a stunning gemstone. Perfect. What about that crackle quartz I had earlier? Oh, I think they go really nicely. That aragonite I've got coming up for you in a bit goes stunning with these as well. I have got beautiful pearls here for you. Take a little look. Oh my goodness, so pretty. How nicely does that go with the quartz? These, I don't know if I've ever said this about pearls, are a bit juicy, aren't they? Aren't they? Oh my goodness, lots of you trying to get your hands on this already. Phone lines have just lit up. This is your beautiful strand of your really zesty pearls. Now these, again, pretty sizable. Now I think we pretty much sold out of these green ones earlier on, but if you did manage to get your hands on the green, what about pairing it with that? It's kind of a like sunrise over a meadow, isn't it, with that selection? It really is. I don't know why I need to do the hand motion. Ta-da! Sorry, my cameraman's just taking the mick out of me. This is your peach straight drilled all right, straight drilled cultured pearls in the Baroque style. Now they're described as peach, but like I say, I think they've got a bit more zest to them. They really, really do. Massive sizing again, 11 by 10 mil on these. Now, I'm sure you've seen pearls absolutely everywhere this season. It was back in November, I think, when Karl Lagerfeld had that interview which I showed you, and it was to do with pearls and to do with Chanel, and he essentially said within this interview that pearls are going hand in hand with Chanel, because of course, as we know, Coco Chanel, when she first went to Paris, she started creating hat pieces just for a friend. She didn't sell any on hat pieces, and they were always strewn in pearls. Now obviously not real pearls, they couldn't afford them at that point, she couldn't, but in faux pearls. And Karl Lagerfeld said back in November that Chanel were going back to the DNA of the brand, and that for him meant that he was putting pearls in everything, and that has been so true, hasn't it? Have you seen every single collection this year running through to the autumn winter? Women strewn in pearls, and even wearing pearl-like fabrics in the sense of silks with that gorgeous pearlescent sheen. Faux furs are massive for the winter collection. In fact, they've already started creeping into the high street, that faux fur with that beautiful sheen, just like the sheen that a pearl gives you. It's just spectacular. These are massive. They're 11 by 10 mil. They're yours today for just £7.95 again for you today. Genuinely, if you're staying bang on trend, if you are going to sell on your pieces and you want to know you're going to be selling something that people want and enjoy and are looking for, then this truly is the opportunity for you to do so. IPPO30 is the code on this. £7.95. Last chance to purchase that, actually, because again, I was absolutely flying out. Now, I'm heading over to wonderful Stephanie in a mere moment, and I'm going to be bringing to you the designer inspiration kit first off. Again, a real mixture of colour we have in here. So, starting off with your thicker gauge, this is your 0.8 in that fuchsia. Now, I've seen you working with this fuchsia, Stephanie. What do you think of this colour?
It's a beautiful colour. I mean, it's summer-like, I think.
Yeah.
Very floral.
It's
kind of a floral colour, like a ribbon bun colour.
Actually, it'd go really nice with your
ribbon, yes.
Yeah, it'd go really nice. Oh, it's like one line, Stephanie. Very nice with that ribbon design that we had earlier on. So this is in your 0.8, as is your antiques bronze that we have here. 10 metres worth on each of these spools. You've then got your really delicate copper tone also in your 0.8. You've got the 10 metres worth of the gold as well. And lastly, but by no means leastly, in the 0.8, you've got your 10 metres worth of the silver. So all 0.8, all 10 metres worth. Now, your husband earlier on showed me, Stephanie, his large golden piece that he had worn. And that, I'm right in saying, was in this thicker gauge as well, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So you can make quite masculine pieces with the days.
Oh, yes, and it'll be give you that chainmail feel.
Yes.
And even for a lady to do the chainmail, and then to bring just some really simple stones and things off of it.
Yeah.
You know, just with some jump rings. Be really simple to do.
Really simple to do. Really quite.
Even those pearls that you had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I like these ideas, Stephanie. You have got loads and loads you could do with this. You really do. We are heading over to the lovely Stephanie to see exactly what she's done. But firstly, let me get your pricing. All of this today should be £24.75. Bear in mind, that takes into account every discount we already have on this. So your RRP should have been more than that. Your price today, though, £14.75. That's £10 off for you on all of this wire. You've got your 0.8. How nice is that? Let's face it. It's rare, isn't it, that we will do all of the same gauge in such a variety of colours. That's really, really unusual. So if you've been wanting to get your hands on the 0.8, if you want to see exactly how you can use it on the Lazy Daisy with the Viking Knit, now is your opportunity. It's your 0.8. It's so versatile. Great for rings, great for fine things, and great for the Lazy Daisy. So when we talk about the Lazy Daisy and we talk about Viking Knit, I would say that not everyone would necessarily think of using this thicker gauge, but obviously you can.
You can, yes.
And what different feel and look does this give you?
Well, the key to this is, because it's a heavier gauge wire, you can work with the longer length of it. And you may want to do that because your splices will be more likely to show when you do that. But this, I think, here is with some of the larger gauges in the kit that they gave us, and you can kind of see what we did was on the 1/4 inch tool we made this silver with 3 loops.
Yeah.
And down here we used the bronze. We did it on the 1/2" tool, and really this is, if I can get it here, we actually made a bail.
Oh, wow.
So this is the 1/2" tool bail, and we just put some decorative elements on it, and then this is the silver, and you can see it looks like individual jump.
That's astonishing.
Isn't that cool?
Really, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, a great way to add on.
Exactly.
To your basic frame as well. It's absolutely stunning. Now, we have got such a variety here. We will talk through some of these. We've had loads of people messaging saying, oh, tell us about this, tell us about that. We will be telling you about some more of these later on, I promise. Do keep sending in your text, though, if you have any more questions for us. 60777, start your text with the word JM Studio. Get in any of your questions. All of this done with the wonderful Lazy Daisy. It's absolutely astonishing amount, isn't it? It truly, truly is. Last chance to get your hands on this designer inspiration as well, by the way. It's going really, really quickly. Please check out your baskets. The names have gone off my screen. Do check out your baskets for us today. It's just $14.75. So talk to us a little bit about, with the thicker gauges of wire, is there anything we need to be careful of? Is there anything that needs to be done differently?
The longer lengths are good. You want to, try and stretch them out. Generally they are a copper base, so even just the warmth of your hand running across them will tend to make them straighter. Here, we've been working on one, so you can just kind of get an idea what it looks like. It's pretty easy, really, to work with. Some ladies may find it difficult, though. I mean, it is certainly a stronger wire.
So just take your time.
Yeah, you just take your time and be a little bit more precise with it. But I mean, in 20 gauge, the gauge that you have is about the heaviest I work with.
Yeah.
My husband will work with the heavier wires.
Oh, wow.
But I like working with them because they give a different depth and strength to what you're working with, and contrast.
Yeah.
You have the really fineness of the fine wires with the Viking Knit, and then you can kind of contrast them with these bigger wires.
Wonderful.
Now, for instance, this one, this is the wire that you have on. While we had the break, I made this.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
In that break?
This is for my my project. My project, yes. So I thought what we might do is we might go ahead and pull it so they can kind of see how we do that with the heavier wire.
Love that.
And one thing that you do want to do with the heavier wire is, you want to keep those columns straight.
Yeah.
But you really want to take care pulling it through the draw plate.
Okay.
And generally, I will put if I don't have a friend, I'll put the draw plate into a vise and pull it through that, because you want to pull. You don't want to make sure that it doesn't hit what I call the shoulders. Because remember, as we're doing the Viking Knit, you're really working in a spiral.
Yeah.
So as it goes through here, it really wants to spiral because it's hitting every one of those shoulders or those loops as you come down. So that's why you want to be really careful pulling it through the draw plate.
With the thicker.
Okay, so this was done on the little the 1/4" tool. I just did the 3 loops.
And you've done that in such a short time. It does build up fast,
it does build up quickly. And then we didn't go into this earlier, but when you go to remove the head from the tool or from the wire, you're just going to clip those loops that are right above
the daisy itself.
Above the daisy itself, and it's going to come off.
Okay.
And you're going to have basically just the loops and one wire out there. That's all it's going to come off.
Fab.
Then you're going to be really careful and put that little head back in your tool so you don't lose it.
No.
Yes, because the cats like to play with these, so you don't want that to happen.
No, we don't. And it's good because it clips in sort of.
It does, yes, it does. And then you're going to take a little bit of scrap wire. I've got a little bit of wire here. This can be any kind of wire. We just want to make that handle to pull it through the draw plate.
And why is the handle so important?
Well, I mean, it's just hard to push it through any other way.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't get the leverage that you need. So you're just going to make a little fake handle that you will take off later. So I'm really just going to make something that's going to be removed, but I'll go through the loops a couple times, just so I have something to grip onto. And then you're just going to twist it. No, this isn't anything precision here. This is just a means to an end.
Okay.
And then you would take, I don't have my cloth, but I would roll this a little bit.
Okay.
Especially the bigger one, just to kind of really loosen it up. Okay. And then I want to fold in these little loops on the ends here, just so they don't get caught on the edge.
So folding those down slightly.
Yeah, so it makes like a little...
Tapers it off.
It tapers it, yes. So now you're going to hold the draw plate, okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to have you hold it this way, so that we're going through the bevel here, and I'm going to pull it through. So I'm going to start at the size, and this is, let me see this for just a second. This is about 5 inches.
Okay,
so I don't know how far down we're going to pull it, but we're going to start at the 3/8, and we're just going to pull it. And you want to pull it through, and I'm trying to keep it as straight as possible, nice and easy and straight.
I can see.
Okay. See, now see how much more flexible it is?
Oh yeah,
just with that one pull, it's way
one.
flexible now. This was the original. You can see it doesn't move nearly as much as this moves.
No, that's beautiful.
Okay, so I think is this where we were?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've gone down
the
one
next
there.
one.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we go. And you can see, I mean, even this thick wire pulls pretty easily.
It really, really does, doesn't it?
Look at that.
It's amazing how much that changes just by going one step down.
So see, you got to have that drop plate. That's really going to fix all the fun stuff. And how many inches do we have now? So we have a little over, maybe 6.5 inches.
6.5 about,
you know,
yeah,
that's
wow.
enough to make a bracelet from my little special project, so I'm going to leave it.
Fab. Oh, I love that. That's for the challenge.
So we made this during, what was it, the 40 minutes you were over there?
Not even that, yeah, a tiny little bit. So you made just over about 6.5 inches in sort of 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That's astonishing.
So that's pretty good.
That builds up quick.
So maybe we want to talk a little bit about adding the wire.
Perfect.
Because I think people need to know that. Okay.
Definitely.
So here,
we have had some texting about that actually.
So here we've been working with the wire, and we've run out of wire. Now I'm doing this with the heavy wire, just because it's a little easier for people to see what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's not necessarily the best demonstration because it's so stiff. The last loop to go over one of these anchor holes. Now in the 1/2 inch tool we have 2 anchor holes. It doesn't matter which one you use.
Now I have got this 1/2 inch coming up for you in a moment.
So you're going to put the tool, or I mean put the wire back on the tool on one of those holes. So the last loop that you form needs to go over the hole. Okay. Now we're going
to bottom hole.
Oh, the bottom hole. Could you grab that wire that's right there on the floor?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now we are going to insert the wire through that hole. Okay. Just like that. So it's coming through. You can see it at an angle there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, so now you can see they're coming out in the same position. There we go. I'm just going to put my finger over it, you know, the thumb over it, and now this new color is going to become the new working wire, and we just continue what we were doing before. Don't let me poke you there.
No, don't worry.
The horizon going south, finger on. Now this is the splicing. Now this is at least 2 rows worth. I mean 4 rows. 4 rows to splice, and depending on the tool and the gauge of the wire, you may have more or less rows that you need to do. Okay. So we're going to go through here. We're going to go all the way around. You know, remember this scenario where we had the treasure? You know, we were looking for the treasure.
You're digging with the shovel in the X.
Shovel going underneath the X.
You go
pulling
over
the
to
horizon, go south. Okay, so now we're going to come up on where that splice area.
I'm going to be saying that in my
sleep. Yay! It'll be the new mantra.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're coming across here, easing it in. Okay, straight down. So now here's where we're coming up here. So we're still going to go underneath right here. So there's still the loop there. But remember the rungs we talked about?
Yeah.
Single Viking knit, you're always going between the first and the second rung. So I know if I'm between this one and this one, if I go right there, I know I'm underneath the loop.
Yes.
First and second rung. Because if you're doing double and triple Viking knit, you're going through the second and third rungs. Okay. That's why the rungs are important.
I see.
I'm still going underneath. Now, my older tail is going to stay against the tool.
So that's the one in the gold, the first golden color, yeah.
And my pattern of my loop is going on top.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so that's pretty simple.
Yeah, I understand that.
Now, here's where here is where it changes a little bit, this next row. Okay, so we're going to feed it through and pulling around. This takes a little bit of time, but it's important for people to see how to do this properly. If you do not do this technique and you just add the wire and you don't bury the wire like in the splice that we're going to do, that's when you're going to say, Stephanie, why is my Viking knit scratchy? You know, I have these little pieces of wire poking up, and you know, it's very uncomfortable and my customers don't like it. Okay. Well, that's because you're not bearing the wire properly.
Okay, so it's really important.
This is very important.
To do the other layers.
Yes, you don't want any wire inside your Viking knit that isn't much more than maybe 3/8 of an inch.
Okay.
You just don't want it out there, or it just works its way to the surface and it becomes scratchy.
Okay.
Okay, so here we go. So here's where the technique comes in. So, you know, we were out looking for that darn treasure and we didn't get it. Oh,
no, so annoying.
But you know, I really want that treasure.
So it's a nightmare.
So I'm going to dig deeper for it.
Okay.
So what happens when I dig deeper, I'm not only going under the loop, I'm going underneath that tail wire from the first one and I'm wrapping it inside.
I see.
So if I have my heavy wire, I'm going to want to lift it a little bit, pull it up, and go all the way underneath that wire. Okay.
So you're going under the two colours now?
Yes, so I'm wrapping both of them, okay?
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay, so this is pretty good. We're going good.
I understand that.
You know, people may be wondering, or not, but you know, I told you earlier when we put the new wire in and when we added wire, we were going through the anchor hole, and the anchor hole is at an angle. And if you're wondering why, here's that tail right now. Yeah. If I'm not careful, I could actually wrap this in and then I can't get it off the tool.
Oh no, have you done that before?
So that's why it's at an angle.
Okay.
Okay,
yeah.
So you want to make sure you work over this. But so I've done the two rows. So I did the row where we just went under the loop. I did the row where we dug deeper. I can now pull this off of my tool. And what's going to happen is this new tail is going to come over and have a party with this tail.
Okay, I like that.
Because now if
Pirate party.
If you did accidentally weave this in, the technique, you may or may not be able to get it off.
Okay.
But if you're trying to get it off, twisting it like a corkscrew is the best way. If you accidentally weave it on there and can't pull it off, corkscrew off. Pulling straight is just going to make it tighter.
Okay.
Corkscrew off, okay? So I'm going to pull it off. Okay, there's the party. So now I have both of the tails together.
Okay.
I'm going to insert this back in.
With those next to each other, that's
yes,
fine.
right next to each other now, okay? So now for the next two rows, or however many I determine, this is just a technique. You can do however many rows, and what I'm doing when I go underneath those rows, or underneath those wires, we're calling those keepers, because they're keeping the wire together. So how many keepers you make depends on the project you're working on. Because on a 1/2 inch tool, if I want to pull it down, I couldn't do it with this because of the mass, but if I wanted to pull it down here, look how many steps I've taken it down. It's going to stretch it out.
Of course.
So the only other thing they need to know is when they come around on the next time, that treasure has gone even deeper and they're going to want to wrap around both of those wires.
So you're burying
So we're going way underneath here. And here's what it looks like inside, and I think they have the studio, they have a bigger blow-up of it, what it looks like. But
yeah, I can see the inside there.
See the inside, these are all attached. See how they're wrapped in there?
Yes.
That's what you're going for. Okay, there we go.
There it is.
It needs to be wrapped, so those aren't going to go anywhere. So after you've determined how many keepers you want, you can go ahead and clip your wire. You just cut both of them off, but still leave about 1/4 inch because you know that's going to be absorbed when you do the draw plate.
Brilliant.
And then you just keep on making your Viking knit. So that's how to splice. It's a simple technique, but it's very, very important. It's probably the most important thing that you do to make your jewelry wearable and comfortable, is to make sure that those splices are on those tails.
That is so simple, because when I've seen it done before, I've seen people work right to the end of the lazy daisy and then have a really huge length that they're a bit worried about and they're not sure if they can add on.
Yeah.
But you absolutely can.
Now, and some people hook it inside, and some people I've seen put crimps on side. So there are other ways to do it. I like this way the best. This is a seamless way to do it. Plus, because it does add bulk in there, you can actually use that to your advantage if you do need something where you need to bend it a certain way. If you put all of those splices in the same rows, again, it makes it stronger in that area so you can shape it.
That is so wonderful. I think there are lots of people at home now like, that's how you do it. That is such a simple way.
And that's in the instructions.
Absolutely, which we're going to be giving you the instructions and the 1/2 inch right now, because this is a sellout. Once everyone checks out, it's a sellout, so do check out those baskets. If you wanted that wire deal, get on the phone, because you can steal off those people. It's fine. It's all right.
You can get more tools.
Yeah, it's fine. I've got the 1/2 inch sheet. Now, we brought this, in fact, I did the launch show of this not so long ago. Yeah, this is a 1/2 inch tool, and we did the 1/2 inch tool, and we got loads and loads in, and they sold out within minutes. This is your 1/2 inch tool. People at home love this. Why is this giving us a very different feel to the 1/4 inch?
Okay, I have something I can show you here.
Wonderful.
Just happen to have. Okay, remember I told you earlier the 1/4 inch tool was going to give you a very flexible chain.
Yes.
So this is the 1/4 inch tool. See how flexible this all is?
Yeah, lots of movement.
1/4 inch tool. Okay.
1/4 inch. Okay.
1/2 inch tool. Now this is a. Don't look at how old this is, but this is kind of a chart of. We used, like, I think 4 different gauges of wire on the 1/2 inch tool with a different variety of. Number of loops, and you can kind of see the variety. Here we have, this is a very fine, so if you wanted to use all 12, get a very fine mesh.
I see. Oh wow.
And over here, here's the really heavy ones. So you really get this variety and bigger, bigger projects. You can still pull them relatively small. You see right here, this is relatively small, but it's going to be a very stiff weave. It's not going to have the flexibility.
No.
So they kind of can work hand in hand. The project that we have right there, if you can put, yep, that one, that's using both of the tools together. So this one has the larger weave in it. It's also, here's some beads that I covered. These are little acorns. I used the 1/2 inch tool just around a wooden bead. But up here, this is the smaller, the 1/4 inch tool, and I made the vines with it. So you can really work with them together to create some really unique things. But the advantage of the 1/2 inch tool is also, it's a little bit easier to learn to do the Viking knit on it, because it's just bigger and it's easier to hold in your hand. It has the 12 loops on it, but I still suggest when you're first learning to use 6.
Okay, yep.
And otherwise it works exactly the same.
It's just a wonderful, wonderful tool. When we launched this, it was the first Lazy Daisy I'd ever had to go at. I'd brought you the 1/4 inch before I had to go at this one, and I can't get over how easy it is for those exact reasons.
It is.
It is chunky in a sense. It's a lot of purchase there.
Yes.
But it's still perfect for travel.
It is. Oh yes, yes. It's still going to fit in your pocket with your wire and your tool and your pin tool, and you're set to go. You don't need the draw plate until you're really ready to create something. So this the other reason that I had kind of created this is my mom was ill at the time, and this was something I could just take with me to the doctors or whatever we needed to do. I mean, it was just a little escape. A little escape mechanism, but then I could do something really creative, and we made a lot of jewelry together, and it was really fun.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah,
that's really
it's a cool tool.
It
just is a cool tool. I just really recommend it. It's easy, it's simple, it's portable, and it's really fun, and you can just make some really cool things.
One thing I will say to you is that I started off with how many, Sweet Pea? I started off with just over 110. I have got about 40 left. So you've got to be quick. Once those people check out their basket, I'll be in my last chance saloon. I'll have 30 left. Once they're gone, I'm afraid they are gone. Get your hands to them whilst you can. It's your Viking knit tool for those days. And one thing that I think is really special, again, especially with this size tool for me, I have a history in working with children. That's my background a lot. Perfect for children to get involved with.
We've been talking about making a larger tool for children as well.
Oh my goodness.
Because they could use telephone wire and heavier plastic wires, and we thought about maybe doing some recycling projects, with electrical wire and getting it into the schools, because it helps with dexterity. It keeps your hands flexible. I haven't had people that have arthritis. They've actually been able to do this pretty easily.
Wow.
Especially with the larger tool where they can really hold on to it. It's not as repetitive as some of the other craft things.
No.
So we've had really good success with it.
It is, and the amount you can do with it is astonishing. Just bringing it through that draw plate and just I think that's one of the amazing things about it. Simply by drawing it through the draw plate, the look you get goes
it's just
from
totally different, isn't it?
Chunky knitwear, like a nice cardi at Christmas, to almost this really fine chainmail, almost like fairy woven.
Yes, it is. It's like lace. On some, if you do the really fine ones, you know, especially if you do the single Viking knit, will give you that really lacy look. Whereas, you know, you do the double and the triple, you're going to get that denser but very intricate look. Yes. So, you know, and it's a little stiffer that way. So, you know, there's just no limit to what you can do with this. There really isn't.
There's really, really not. And boy, oh boy, do you guys at home know that I have got a handful of these left. Once you check out your basket, I have single figures of this tool left. It's sold out a fair few times before, and it's going to do the same again. £24.95 for you today. Now we will have a little look at adding on gemstones in a moment. I've got a few more questions for you though, if that's all right.
I love that.
Let's squeeze some of these in, shall we? Hello, Stephanie, Becky, and all at JM Towers. Hello, how are you, love? It's a fab show and wonderful demos. Can you please ask Stephanie to show how to insert beads into the woven piece? Do you have to add beads after you draw the plate, after the draw plate treatment? Many thanks. And that is from Shireen and from Shirley. Thank you very much for sending that. Oh, in Croydon, I love Croydon. Great food in Croydon, cracking fish and chips in Croydon. Oh, really good. Thank you for sending that in, ladies. Really good question, very, very good. And one that I think it gives you such a gorgeous effect.
It does, yeah, it's very fun. Now, I wasn't quite prepared for that.
That's okay.
But it's pretty simple.
Okay.
You're really just going to take, it depends on how many covered pieces you want to make, or how many covered beads you want to make. If you're only going to make one, you just need to make it slightly longer than the actual length of whatever bead you're going to do.
Okay.
I generally will make a long piece, again, putting all of my splices in the same row.
Yeah.
You're going to still draw it through the draw plate once or twice, depending on how thick this is.
Okay.
But basically, you're just going to insert it inside.
Okay.
So you just cut the end, you just want to leave enough to go over the end. You press the bead inside, and usually I'll press, push it in with a pen or something, or the Lazy Daisy tool. You just press it in there, and for instance, this one, I could just cut it.
Okay.
Okay. And then you would want to clean it up and get all those little extra pieces out of there. So if you wanted to make an individual bead. Now what you can do is, on the ends of the Lazy Daisy tools, we have these little holes on here.
Yes.
Those are to make end caps with.
Fab.
Maybe we should show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I have that here with me right the moment, but let's improvise here.
Okay, we like improv.
So, we like to improvise. Okay, so you can make a larger one on the 1/2-inch tool or a smaller one on the 1/4-inch tool. Oh, look, I do have one here. Okay. Now you have a different kind of a coiling tool.
We do, we have Cass, your little love. Thanks, babe.
Yay, okay.
We have ones that do different sized ones.
Oh, yes.
So we have a really small one for, I suppose, littler beads would you use this one for?
I've never used that. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Well, I have my little crank thing that I made, so. This was my little portable that would go in my bag with, in my little bag that I would carry with me, so.
That's very handy.
But I'm sure that they work the same. What we're doing is we want to make these little coils.
So you're doing a little gizmo coil here.
Yes, it's a little gizmo coil. Okay. So the one that I have, do you have a finer wire?
A thinner wire? Yeah. I'll find that for you.
Yeah, you can find me some thinner wire.
Let me have a nosy in here.
And so this is just a simple little tool that I made, but I would suggest maybe you want a professional one. And all it is a crank. It's a piece of piano wire that I've bent in the shape of a crank. That would be perfect. And then I put a little piece of rubber here, but you could put a piece of tape. And all I'm going to do is turn this around in my hands like this, and I'm going to make a little coil.
Wonderful.
So all you do is you take your wire, you attach it at one end here by the little crank thing itself. You just hold your fingers on it, and see I'm kind of bracing it here, and I'm just turning it around in my hands, and I'm making a little coil.
Oh, that's easy peasy, isn't it?
Yes.
How simple.
Yes.
I just want to let you know there's loads of people messaging, just talking very much about these pieces. I promise we're going to go through and we've got loads of time.
Okay, so that's all
we'll be
I've done
going
there.
back through them in a little bit.
Okay, so there's the coil.
Easy peasy.
So we make a longer one. So that's what this was. This came off of there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the smaller one as a demo, and we're going to take a heavier piece of wire, maybe about 12 inches or so. There we go.
Okay, so this is the 0.8 we're using here.
Okay. I'm just going to insert it into the tip of the tool.
Yeah.
And I'm going to turn it around here several times. Doesn't matter how many times, however many you want. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put my little coil over the top of it and slide it on there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to keep turning this around. And that that heavier gauge wire is going to hold that shape.
Hold it into place.
Yes. Then I'm going to release, whoops, this one. I'm just going to pop that up a little bit so that I can cut it off of there. Okay, so that comes off like that. And we're just going to trim this. I came up with this, I showed you earlier that this was, the ends of these would open up the weave.
Yeah.
But originally that's not what I made it for.
Oh, really?
I made it to make these little end caps because when I had started doing this 6 or 7 years ago, I guess now, it was very hard to find end caps, inexpensive end caps. So I thought, what if we made a little decorative one? So trying to do something that just did a lot of things for you in this simple little pencil tool.
One piece, that's so useful.
And then this end, I will generally put a bead or something on, but you're just going to want to curl it or do something.
A decorative spiral or swirl.
There we go. So there's a little nice little end cap. So now what you could do is you could put this end cap on here and put another, I would use like a spacer or some kind of a rounded metal, and then you could just make a little acorn.
How adorable
that's
is
kind of what I did. Now on these, this was the 1/2-inch tool, so I actually made, this is the 1/2-inch tool little coil end cap that's just sitting right on top. So all you have to do is put wire through the entire thing and wire wrap and just put it all together. And that kind of brings us to maybe just briefly saying, how do we finish something?
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to know, how do I finish something?
Now, just before we do that, sorry, I've just been told that it's a sellout. I'm so sorry. That is a sellout. I'm sorry. We will try and get more in for you as soon as possible. We are a shopping channel. I do have to have my graphics on the screen, so I'm going to quickly bring you something else.
Oh, well. It was wire.
Thanks, Ryan.
It's just wire.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, you're always trying to get on TV, aren't you? Thank you.
Your golden moment there.
I know. I have got here for you loads and loads of goodies, loads of wire, perfect for your Viking knit. You've got your 0.25. This is the gauge we were just using to create that really delicate gizmo coil that you can then create the end cap with the Lazy Daisy. You've then got your 0.8 in this really hot, kind of quite flirty, little bright fuchsia
it's beautiful
pink,
color. It is flirty.
Flirty. Then you've got a really delicate, girly pink in the 0.8 again. And lastly, but by no means leastly, you've got your 1 mil in the antiques bronze. So you've got 130 meters worth of your wire here in a beautiful range of colors. I absolutely love antiques bronze and pink working together. I think it gives you a bit of a grown-up, girly feel. It really, really does. All of this wire for you today. I've just realised what this is called. Who called this live wire? Live wire! Oh, it was Helena. Oh, Helena. It's my producer, blame her. £25.30 is not your price today. Should be, but it's not. We're taking it down. Should be nearly £35. Your price today, though, just £14.95.
That's a great buy.
Good price.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of wire.
It's a lot of wire, isn't it? 130 meters worth. You can use lots of these gauges with the Viking knit, with the tool, and for many, many more. $14.95. Get your hands on it whilst you can. Wonderful. So we're talking about finishing these pieces.
Finishing. That's another big question. I get information from people and emails and saying, well, I have all these weaves now, what do I do with them?
Yes.
Here's two real simple things you can do.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the weave, and I've already pulled it through a draw plate. So here's the weave itself, okay?
Okay, so that's your piece already woven.
Right. You can do two things. You can take a heavier gauge, usually I take a heavier gauge wire, and run it through the entire weave, and just put your end caps on each side, and wire wrap the ends.
Oh, wow.
That's all you have to do. That's it. You're going to seat those over the top. Whatever. I really like to decorate the ends a lot. I think that the ends can be a beginning. Here I'm not doing that, but if you look at my work, a lot of times the ends of my things are more elaborate than some of the other parts.
There's a lot of zhuzhes, isn't there? A lot of zhuzh to your pieces.
So that gives you structure through the center, especially if you want to bend it or shape it. And so that's one way to do it. If you don't want to run a wire through the entire thing and you want it to be more flexible, don't put a wire through the center.
Okay.
All you're going to do is put a wire just in like the last 1/4 inch or right in the end. So that's where the gold is. Just in the end, push that down over the top and wire wrap this. Then it's all flexible, and that's it. So wire on the ends, put an end cap on, either do a simple loop or a wire wrap loop, or run a wire through entire thing. Again, put your end caps on, wire wrap loop, or a simple loop. That's all you have to do to finish it.
That is so wonderful.
I mean, that's a really simple way.
Because that is a question we get asked a lot as well about how
do
to
I finish these?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's as simple as that.
Or you can, and you can put these on the. So if you wanted to put these on the end, I would put these on the end with another little bead to make up for that space there. But that would fit right over the top, and then you'd have a inexpensive, complimentary decorative end cap.
I adore that. Thank you so much for showing us that. Thank you very much for all of your messages in. We've got Stephanie in with us until 5 o'clock. I'm not going anywhere yet though. We're going to have a little look at, if we may, how we would add on gemstones, how we would add on beads to this. You've got plenty of time. We've got a good 20 minutes.
All right, I'll come up with something.
Love that. Now, just to let you know, at home, I've got so many people who are still with this in their basket that we've got on screen at the moment. £14.95. Do check it out for me. There's people buying it in beautiful Barcelona, gorgeous Cumbria, Tyne and Weir.
There's another Kentucky up there.
There is. Oh yeah, there is another one. Minorca as well. Lots and lots of people getting your hands on these today. Congratulations to everybody. £14.95. Now, just before we have a little look at how to add gemstones onto this, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get your hands on a few tools right now, just because this is almost a sellout, and again, got to move on. So I am bringing to you now a couple of your tools. So I have got your flat nose pliers and your round nose pliers. Now, obviously, we know you for a lot of Lazy Daisy, but you have been making jewellery for a long, long time, so I presume you have quite a hefty toolkit.
I do. And these are the essentials right there. The cutter, the round nose pliers, and the flat nose.
They're your essentials, aren't they?
Absolutely.
To get you.
Absolutely.
Even actually with the Viking knit, you'd need, if you were going to
that's what I use for those.
Absolutely.
And that's all you need.
It's as simple as that.
Yes.
It's not, I always love this about the Lazy Daisy. It's not a high-cost hobby to start.
It's not. You have the initial investment of your tool, but this is a tool that's going to last you forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to replace it at any point. So you get your initial investment, but then you get all your wires, and it just pays for itself in no time. I mean, just in the pleasure of using it. But if you want to resell jewelry, this you can go high end with this. I mean, you can charge a lot of money for this woven jewelry. I have seen it. And put your gemstones with it. You don't get any better than that.
World is your lobster.
Yes.
Now here I have got for you your round nose pliers and your flat nose pliers with some wire. Now the round nose pliers is what we saw the lovely Stephanie use earlier, just to finish off that decorative swirl to the end cap that she made for us with that gizmoed coil. You've then got your flat nose pliers as well. Now these are precision pliers, so you'll be able to see the point of these is ever so flattened. Let me get these out for you. Now that's really important, because if if perhaps you have brought your tools from other places in the past, or perhaps you got yourself a starter kit. Sometimes with the flat nose pliers, what I found in the past is that the flat nose pliers themselves, when you put them together, there will be little teeth in there. Now, not only can this mark your wire, but also it can mean that your wire isn't going to be making such a clean bend, such a clean finish. These ones are a precision head, so you can see the teeth close up absolutely perfectly on these. You can see as well there is absolutely no ridges within here, beautiful and smooth. And the other thing that I always think is important with these is perfect for people with dexterity problems, because you've got your really high chute spring in this. Now that means, I don't know if I've had pliers before in the past, which once I've squeezed them together, they always get a little bit stuck, and you kind of have to pull them apart a little bit to get the thicker wire in. It's a bit of a nightmare. You don't have that problem with these at all. You don't have to do anything with these. They do the work for you. The same with the round nose pliers. Those are so precision. If you want a really delicate, really intricate little loop, even if it's not for spirals, even if it's just to hide the ends, then you can have that opportunity to do so with these round nose pliers. I then also have for you 10 meters worth of your twisted 0.6 wire. This is in your copper and your antiques bronze colour that we have here. All of this today should be £12.35, which is a cracking price, because you can pay that for just one pair of pliers. Today though, we're taking it down. Is your code, and it's yours today for just £8.95. Now I've had loads more questions in for you. Okay. Squeeze a few more in. This is sent in from Stella. Hi, I haven't tried this yet, but Stephanie is so inspiring. What do you do when you get to the bottom? How do you keep it going? So when you get to the bottom of the knit, to the bottom of the tool, how do you keep it going?
Well, that was the push. That's why you want to make sure that you're pushing it out the top. That's why our little head releases. So you can make this however long you want to make it. There isn't any end to it. And when you're done, you basically just make your final loop, cut your wire, and pull it through the draw plate. It's not going to unravel or do anything. There's really no finish to it other than putting your end caps on it. That's really it. Simple. It just stops.
Yeah, that's so simple.
It doesn't have to be tied off or anything. It's wire. It will hold the shape. It will lock in. It will draw down. It will compress it. You're done.
Easy peasy. So just keep making sure that daisy itself is popped off the tool.
You want to push it up as you go, and you should be doing that anyway. If you are correctly adding the new wire in, you have to move this out of the way to get to that loop. So if I always know somebody's not read the directions or not doing it right, if they email me and say, well, I can't make it any longer than 6 inches. Well, it's because you haven't added the wire right.
Love that. So keep popping that top of the daisy up.
That's the reason it comes off, is you can make it however long you want to make it.
Wonderful. Absolutely fab. We've had a few more in.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it does, definitely. We've had a few more in. We have had one about adding on our gemstones. So how do we go about that? Because am I right in saying you've done that on quite a few of these designs, actually? You've added sort of gems into the pieces, haven't you?
Well, yes, you can insert just like we did with the wooden beads.
Yep. So you can kind of encase almost.
The other thing that we can do is get this little. How about this little gem right there?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Chunky.
Okay. So let me see here. Okay. So here's a little project that I've taught as a class many times.
Okay.
Kind of fun and easy and simple, and
perfect.
I'm adding the stone. I'm not embedding it. You can do what I call freeform Viking knit, and you can actually embed a stone.
Okay.
This is just going to be a surface stone.
Okay.
All right. So all I've done is I'm taking my length of my Viking knit. I've pulled it through the draw plate to whatever size I determine that I want to do.
Okay.
I've measured it and I found the center of it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm using a contrasting wire so you can see. It's the same gauge of wire, and I would use the same wire that I would project, but I'm showing it this way so you can see what I'm doing. All I've done is taken a length. It's probably about 20 inches or so, and I just looped it in there so it's held in there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to set that aside. Now I have a gemstone that has a hole through the center of it. What I'm going to do is, I've got everything locked on here so it doesn't fall off.
Good idea.
Good idea on TV. Go flying.
Wouldn't be the first time, Stephanie.
Let's not make it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually lay this stone on top and try about the center, and I'm going to kind of press it down a little bit.
Okay.
Press it right there so I can see where my indent is.
I see.
Then I'm going to take my pliers with the
nylon jaws.
Yeah. And I'm just going to gently kind of press that area down. Now, I'm not going to flatten it. Remember how I told you about the flat Viking knit?
Yeah.
Don't flatten it any more than the width of the column. But flatten it enough so that this will kind of set in there.
Yeah, I see.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I would be doing this in the same color wire. Again, I would use silver, but I'm doing a contrast so you can see it.
Fab.
Okay, I'm going to insert this. Let's see, is that right? No. That's not right.
Other way.
Okay, this way. I'm going to go this way on this side. So I'm going to skip this area that I flattened, and I'm just going to push this through here.
Okay.
All the way to the end like that.
Yeah.
I've got my other little bead on. I usually put something decorative on there, but like spacers or something.
I see.
Okay, and then I'm going to cut this end here, and I'm going to insert it through the other side here.
Again.
Just kind of wiggle it through there, like that. Okay, so now I have a stone on the top of that.
Oh wow, that is so simple. That's
simple.
A cuff?
Yeah. So, okay, so it's on there. Now, you would certainly do something more decorative. Well, I would.
Yeah.
I have a friend at home, she says to me, well, this is how I would do it, and then Stephanie does 12 more steps. Because I do like embellishment.
Elaborate design.
Okay, so what I can do now is I would just, again, as the finishing technique, I can put an end cap on here. Now, this is a commercial end cap, but you could make, we could use this one.
Yeah. Oh, that fits really nicely, actually.
Put it right on the end there, and I would put a larger bead here, and then I would just wire wrap this end. And then I would do the same thing on this other end, okay?
Nice.
Now, the reason I have these out here, you don't have to have these out here, but like I say, I like embellishment.
Yes.
So what I would want to do is, somewhere I had another little, whoops, silver coil. Not sure what might have happened to. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And so I originally had 2 of these. Whoops.
Yeah.
I just lost my bracelet there. But so I would have 2 of them, but I used one of them in the coil. But I like to just put these little coils on the end here.
Okay.
And then I like to just wrap it around and just kind of give it a little bit of a different, you know.
Oh, I love.
So it's kind of embedded in there. And you would want to use, if you use the same wire to do this that you do in your weave, then all you're going to do is you just basically bury it in there. So you just do like maybe 1 or 2 wraps.
Almost.
And you won't, because it's the same color of wire,
it'll vanish.
You just need to do it 2 or 3 times, clip it way down there. And then, so that's one way to add.
A few more questions in. Let's squeeze another one in now, and then let's go through some of your pieces, shall we? Just to let you know, round nose pliers, still got plenty of those if you wish. Absolutely loving the show. When would you make use of the second set of the anchor holes? Hey, Carol, good question.
Okay.
Good question.
The longer this gets, the heavier it gets.
Of course.
Then if you just put, if you're going to add your splice in or add your additional wire and you put the hole over the hole right there, it wants to fall off.
Right.
So we just made an anchor hole more on the tool. So the function's the same. On the 1/2-inch tool, we just put 2 in because of a weight issue. On the 1/4-inch tool, the weight issue isn't there, and you just need the 1 anchor hole.
I love
But it doesn't matter which one you use. But if you were doing the heavier gauge wire and it was very long, it would become heavy, you'd probably want to move it down to here. Otherwise, it's hard to weave. It just wants to fall off because of the weight. So you'd want to move it all the way down to that 2nd anchor hole.
You've put so much thought into this, haven't you? That's so clever and so simple. I really,
well, my
do.
husband came up with that one.
Oh,
because he was doing the heavy wire.
Of course.
And he kept saying, it keeps falling off here, so we need another hole.
I love that. Simple as that. Now, we've had so many people messaging in just saying, please let me look at each of these pieces in detail.
Okay.
So we will let you do that now. This one is the one we showed you before with kind of the acorn design, isn't it?
So this is utilizing, I wanted to do something that featured both tools. So the main base and then the little acorns are with the 1/2" tool, as well as those end caps. And then the scrolling part that's going around, they're up in here,
so
up in the top.
Section,
this is the 1/4" tool that I put a heavier gauge wire in so that I could wrap it around.
That's so wonderful, isn't it? It's got a gorgeous autumnal
It's very,
feel.
and it's just very organic.
On the opposite side, color-wise, wow, it's like a firework display.
Well, yes, I called it Sunset in Bogota. And I submitted it. Every once in a while I'll do a contest thing.
Okay.
Just because that's the one time I allow myself to just go all out. You know, I don't really care if I win anything, but it gives me myself permission to say, okay, I'm going to take some time and really play.
Yeah.
So this is one that I made for a competition that I won a top award for.
Wow, congratulations.
And it was just a matter, I wanted to see the extremes that I could do and what could I do with Viking Knit. So there are probably 20 different techniques in here. There's the flat, I have one here where there's a weave inside of a weave.
Oh yeah.
There's beads added on this. I've woven beads in to the weave on it.
Wow.
As we were going. Let's see what else. Oh, here's one where I embedded this glass in just a free form. So I used a Viking Knit around it, and then I added wire and just did the same Viking Knit stitch, but free formed it around that, so you could do around a cabochon or something.
Wow, that's
and there's another technique for doing it around a cabochon.
So no need for a drill hole on this at all.
No.
That is gorgeous.
So it was just kind of a fun journey, and then these little leaves, of course, aren't Viking Knit. They're actually a French beading.
Okay, fab.
But just kind of a new take on French beading.
That's so beautiful. I love the depth you have.
Thank you.
This is the one that we showed you briefly earlier on, and this is using that section as a bail, isn't it? Which is fab.
Yes. This is one of the projects, the wire projects that we picked up from yesterday, and then we went into the little bins you have here.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and so it was just a bail over the top is a really fun, easy way to make a Viking knit.
Movable section.
Yeah. So this is the 1/4" tool on the silver, and then the bronze is the 1/2" tool. And basically I took the 1/2" tool, I made maybe 12 rows. I still pulled it through the draw plate twice to make it so it was flexible, and just bent over the ends, and then on all those loops I just took stones and made wire wrap loops on them and attached them with jump rings. That's it. That's all it was.
So simple.
And this is a good one. You know, you have all those leftover pieces of things.
Yeah.
This is what you can do with them. And if you make this, now I have an end cap on here where I did the coiled end caps.
Oh yeah.
But if you make a small, conceivably you could put different bails on there.
So you could
change them up. Yes, you could do it.
Brilliant.
So you want to plan that ahead if that's what you want to do.
Love that idea. You've got this piece, which for me is just so wearable. Yes. Isn't it?
Well, now this is the one that I made in lieu of getting the package.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh, I know.
Yes. So Laura.
Yeah.
Sorry. Laura was sending me the package that I didn't quite get, but she said, well, just use natural stones, and here's the colors that we're using. So this was kind of a collage. So this was just Viking Knit here. And I wanted to show the technique of doing the blending. So I'm doing single wire and then double wire up here where we're doing the blending coming into it, and then back to the single.
Yeah. So
and now over here you'll notice I added beads in there.
Oh my gosh, they're beautiful.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing the loop, and where the rung is, before I do the next loop, those fit into that rung.
So before you go digging for your treasure,
you're going to add some
added gem.
Yeah. If we don't find the treasure, we'll have gems.
Yeah, I love
either way.
I love.
So that's what that was, and I wanted it to be asymmetrical and really feature a lot of beautiful stones over here, contrasting with the intricacy of the Viking knit.
That is absolutely.
And these were just stones that I had just fun, just wrapping and playing and
having fun.
And then the toggles in the front. I have a toggle in the front and in the back. for decorative.
I love that. Speaking of love, oh my goodness, this is just, I have no words. Just talk to me about this.
Well, now that was the fascinator
piece
that actually goes with the necklace I'm wearing.
Okay.
But I was afraid if I had it on camera, it might fall off my head. And I just couldn't deal with that.
No.
So this is a free-form Viking knit. This part of the weave I actually did on the tool with the blending, but this part in the middle, this webbing, and where this flower is coming out, this is all free-form Viking knit with beads.
Oh, wow. So this section here is with the tool.
With the tool, I used that as a base, and then attached it to a free-form Viking knit, which is the netting in there.
Netting in the middle, and then that has gone around this.
And so then this was the 1/4" tool, and I started adding beads and just kept more beads on that rung, and then took it off the tool, and I made a flower.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely adore this. That again, it's got a really vintage steampunk feminine feel, hasn't it?
I guess I was in a mood then.
I love it. Oh my goodness.
And that's the same, like, so that's the matching piece to this necklace.
Have a look at this necklace as well, if I move this, because when Stephanie came in before, everyone was just staring at her neck, really. It's like, wow, look at that piece.
They weren't even looking at me at all.
No, I know, absolutely not. That is so pretty, isn't it? So this again was with the freeform feel?
Yes, yes. And I think, yes, and it's the 1/4" and the 1/2" tool, again, used together.
That's wonderful. So exceptional. I love the poker for a moment.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay,
that needs a really good look at.
Now, this is a real simple one, using the 1/4" and 1/2" again together.
Oh, really?
So this is the 1/2" tool because I wanted the lacy look. Okay. So you can see that it's very... you can see through it a lot. It just is very lacy. So this is the 1/2" tool. And then I wanted the density, and I wanted to be able to sculpt with the 1/4" tool. So this has got a heavy wire inside, and then just a lot of little nuggets and stones hanging off.
That's beautiful. It's got almost a kind of Easter Island Aztec.
Well, yeah, it's got those stones that sometimes you're on the islands or you're in the desert and you see how those little stones are just stacked in them, and you don't know what they mean, but there's something cosmic about them.
Yes.
That's kind of what I was going for there.
That's completely, well, you've absolutely nailed it. And I've also got to show you, oh my goodness.
That's flat Viking knit. That was the first, one of the big pieces, the first flat Viking knit that I did. And it's a choker.
Okay.
I don't know what to say other than, so this was a way of doing several pieces of flat Viking knit and running, the head pins, or really long head pins, through it to make a larger piece. So these are all stacked and attached together. So there's 3 rows of Viking knit all attached together, and then these were just some simple little metal dragonflies that I embellished. I kind of pulled pieces off and kept the wings and just embellished it.
That's amazing, isn't it? And speaking of amazing, I think it's fair to say it's the big piece.
The big piece.
This is the piece. Oh, I love that. Even though my producer and director have both seen this, if I pulled that in, then they both just. Oh.
Well, it is a big piece.
It is a standout piece as well, isn't it?
I called it Runway Rapture because my idea was that this would be a runway piece with it would just be the whole piece. So my husband actually did most of the weaving. I kind of gave him assignments on what I needed, had a vision of something, and this is totally not the vision I had.
Oh, really?
But it kind of took on that life of its own. So this is very similar to the piece I'm wearing, where we did the graduated pieces, 1/2" tool, and then I just took them off with a real heavy wire and started making these floral pieces.
Going up to this section here, which is the flower piece.
Yeah, there's a bunch of flowers. So this actually is a collar that fits over your head. This actually comes off, so this actually hooks up here. Wow. And then the piece coming across up by her ear comes off, and you can actually put it behind your ear, or you could wear it as an earring. But both those pieces come apart, and then you actually put them on.
So this piece here can be worn as an earring, or it can just be popped in the hair.
But normally I just wear it as behind my ear as like a hair kind of thing. And then the back of it, I lost a piece in shipping here, but I didn't just leave the back open because I thought if they were wearing a really nice, long, you know, deep black dress, that would be the piece, that would be the back of
my goodness,
the piece.
That is so gorgeous.
And then, of course, my steampunk
I
fascinator
love
there.
the fascinator. I don't think.
So this was the first.
I would take it
let's
off.
see. No, that was the second fascinator.
Okay.
And then this is the little dragonfly here is actually freeform Viking knit. So the dragonfly body is on the small tool.
Yeah.
And then this is freeform Viking knit on the wings, but it is Viking knit.
That is so wonderful. I absolutely adore this piece. And we've talked about your hubby quite a bit, and he's just walked in. Hi, hubby. Hi. Do you want to come over here? Go on, come on. Because you helped out with this quite a bit, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
You have been making, so we were talking earlier about how you enjoy doing the knit. Oh, no. We look like a little family, all four of us, don't we?
Something a little strange.
We were talking earlier about how you really like to do the knit yourself. What is it about the Lazy Daisy and the Viking knit you enjoy?
Well, it's very therapeutic for me. I'm a businessman, and I have a lot of stress in my ordinary business life. And I can sit down somewhere by a pond or under a tree and Viking knit and just kind of forget about everything else.
I think that's wonderful. I really, really do. In fact, we've had some messages in about how you'd make gentlemen's pieces, and you're showing perfectly how to do that. You've got two different pieces there. Now, when you're making male jewellery, what's the different feel you go for?
Heavier.
Okay.
They generally don't want anything too light. They want to have that masculine heaviness. And so with the with the smaller or the larger tool, doing that more chainmail type of look, they seem to like that. Although he's had a lot of compliments. Now this is a double Viking knit. That's but it has a snake theme, so it's still again very manly. You know.
Oh yeah. You look like you've got a viper around your neck.
I do indeed.
I love it. Oh, well, we are heading back over to Stephanie very, very shortly, but it's time to go to a break now. Thank you so much for joining us. We are heading to a break. I will be back with more of Stephanie and her challenge.
Do you have a question that you need answering?
Well, did you know you can ask to speak to an accredited jewellery professional in our call centre?
Trained by the GIA, you can ask us any gemological question and we'll do our best to help.
We don't just sell gemstones, we know gemstones.
That's why when you buy from us, you're buying with confidence. Buy your genuine gemstones from genuine accredited jewellery professionals.
The early bird catches the worm. Don't miss out on your chance to grab our amazing early bird offers at 9 AM on weekday mornings. Catch them while you can.
Welcome back everybody to Designer Inspiration. How are you today? This is Jewellery Maker and I've got so many treats coming up for you. Don't worry, we're back with the gorgeous Stephanie very, very soon. Guess what I've just had in the break? Half a sandwich, but that's not the point. I've also had a message off my guest designer for tomorrow, Rachel Norris. She's just sent me a little message with 3 pictures of, in fact 5 pictures of her pieces. Oh my under the sea days. If you love that animal show we did months ago for you, you're going to fall in love with tomorrow's pieces. Honestly. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. I wish I could show you, but I'm not allowed to. I'm sorry, but just trust me on this. So I have got lovely Rachel coming up for you tomorrow. Today though, we are joined by the lovely Stephanie Eddy, and she has been showing us all about her Lazy Daisy. Now, Stephanie, do you have any nicknames related to the Lazy Daisy? Does anyone call you sort of like the Lazy Daisy lady?
Well, yes. I have a little embroidered shirt called the Viking Vixen.
Oh, I love that! I did not see that coming. Did you?
See, Miss Stephanie or the Viking Vixen, or the Viking Queen, you know, Viking Knit Queen. So, yes, I proudly accept.
I love all of those names. That is fab. Viking Vixen.
Yes.
I have got some real treats coming up for you. We're back over to Stephanie in sort of 50 minutes or so to have a little look at her challenge. But before that, I have got some epic gemstones. How about starting off? Sorry, I'm staring in the box and they're saying something to me and I'm saying, that's not that. I think, no, on your right, mate. Oh yeah, sorry. I have got a beautiful bundle for you here. Actually, these colours, very, very similar to some of these pieces. Really gorgeous. Have a little look at these. Go gorgeously with some of Stephanie's pieces, actually. This is your Smoky Skies. Now, in here, you've got 20 carats worth of the smoky quartz, and these are in your 3mm rounds. 30 carats worth of your labradorite in the faceted rounds over here, 4mm. You've got your clear quartz as well. Boy, oh boy, they are crystal clear. They are 3 to 5mm. Nice to have a graduation on a round strand. It doesn't happen. Just in the huge ones, but not in these delicate ones. It happens very rarely. And then you've got your grey moonstone in these drops as well, irregular plain drops. Now these colours, let's just see how well, oh, they do work beautifully, don't they? In fact, I could see these added in to Stephanie's beautiful choker really easily, because there's a few drops in here, and then we've got a few of the rounds with the facets as well. I could see that working with those beautiful dragonflies really well. In fact, with that colour palette too, it works really, really nicely. You have got your Smoky Skies. Now your price for 4 strands of genuine gemstones should be £15.80. That's a bargain, isn't it? I can't get over that. Okay, so that was working at, well, less than £5 a strand. So already there's loads of you getting yourself on the phone. Loads of you getting yourself on the phone. So what is it? No way you're going that low. Your price today for 4 strands of genuine gemstones is just £10.95. That means you're getting genuine quartz, you're getting genuine labradorite, moonstone, and your beautiful smoky quartz for £2.74 a strand. That is serious. Oh my goodness, I think these would go so beautifully with some of Stephanie's pieces. And actually, you know the runway piece that we showed you earlier, a few of these colours are quite similar, and a few of the shapes and size though as well, aren't they?
Yes, that would work actually very well.
I absolutely love the ideas of incorporating these. At £2.74 per strand, you already know this is an absolute deal and a half for you today. It really, really is. When you're thinking of buying quartz, okay, so let's have a look at these rounds, shall we? When you're looking at buying a pair of genuine quartz earrings, what price are we generally looking at? for a price, genuine quartz earrings. Now I know a very, very famous accessories shop that I'm sure you all know. You can get your ears pierced there. You can get a pair of the faux back, so not 925, just the coated copper, and you can get a stud pair of quartz earrings for around the £7 mark, can't you? And that's it, just for 2 studs. £5 for just the 2 studs. Now look at the length of this strand for me. I don't even dare to guess how many pairs of earrings I could get out of that. I say I don't dare, but obviously I do. I'm me, aren't I? Of course I'm gonna guess. Probably about 25 pairs, probably. Maybe 20. Would you say more? Probably, let's go halvesies. Let's say 25 pairs of earrings you could get out of this. Now that would be a lot of £5, wouldn't it? The fact of the matter is though, you're getting this entire strand of genuine, natural, untreated quartz, genuine from Mother Nature quartz, for just £2.74. Same price as your moonstone, same price as your smoky quartz, same price as your faceted labradorite. All 4 strands of genuine gemstones coming at you today for just £10.95. That is it. Lots of you getting your hands on this. Get it whilst you can. It's flying out. Barcelona, do check out your basket for me, please. I've got another beautiful bundle here for you now. You know your prize-winning explosion of bows?
Yes.
Piece? That's not its technical name.
Yes. I see that.
I have got some gemstones that I think the colour palette would go really, really well with.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
What do you think?
That's perfect. I'll take 2.
Now, when it comes to colour, we've already, no. You're afraid of it, are you, Stephanie?
No.
When you're working with colours like purple, do you ever have anything that you think, oh, I know that this colour goes with purple, when you're working with, say, your wires?
The bronze, you know, the bronze colors or the smoky quartz colors in the metals, I think, lend themselves to that really well.
Because it kind of lifts it.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of, well, it kind of warms it up a little bit too, I think.
I adore that idea, actually, and it's something that you might not necessarily think of.
Yeah.
But we've seen it in that bow piece, and it most certainly does.
It'll work.
Who named this one? Purple Rain.
Oh,
really? I'm not singing. My director is, and I wish he wouldn't. This is your Purple Rain bundle. Let's have a little look through it, shall we? I have got in here your gorgeous striped agate. 8mm we have on these. Now, agate's wonderful. Every single section of this agate is brought to you with the banding from Mother Nature. Now, the wonderful thing with the banding within agate is that it's due to different pressure points within the Earth's crust. It's due to different temperatures, different heats. It's also due to different elements essentially being present within the growth of these gemstones. Now, when we say different elements, we're generally when it comes to agate in particular, we're talking about a mixture of your diluted silicon oxide, a lot of the tapestries, who works the facets and works the shape of these gems to really highlight those different areas of depth of colour, of transparency, of translucency. It's just a beautiful strand. Gorgeous deep, deep amethyst purple in there. You've then also got the purple striped agate, 30 carats worth in the 4mm. Again, really highly faceted. Those two just twinkle to the eye, don't they? Something's got that Zambian tone, hasn't it? And that deep, rich Zambian tone that was so sought after. It's got that, you know, the Pantone colours as well. It's got a lot of that, hasn't it? That deep, rich tone. And lastly, but by no means leastly, and when I say by no means leastly, I mean it. Have you seen the size of these? 440 carats worth of your dyed quartz. I'm laughing because my director's just said, is leastly a word? Leastly. I don't know actually, is it? You know when someone says a word so much, it starts to make no sense. Leastly? Lastly, but by no means leastly. Who knows? Someone will text him. This is 480 carats worth. I cannot get over this strand. Look at the size of that one in the centre. 18 by 12mm. Now let me just show you size to scale as a ring. You'd have to be strong. But that's just to show you in equivalent to the size of my finger. And then look at the graduation on this. From 18 mil, so we're talking almost 2 centimetres, to a tiny delicate 5 by 7 mil. Now, if this was a necklace just as it is, I'm going to hit my microphone if I do this, aren't I? Hang on, wait for it. No, I'm not. Yes. How gorgeous. This, to me, is a done deal. The graduation's there for you. The colour palette's beautiful. You've got a symmetry within. How much genuinely would you pay for this on the high street? Honestly, I actually couldn't even guess for you. How much are you saying? Easily £15. Where are you shopping? Market. £15, genuine gemstones. Yeah, all right. Yeah, massive statement necklace. Genuine, again, it's really important, it's really imperative that you know that. Helen is saying £15. I don't know where she shops, but I'm gonna go. I'm saying more like £30 easily, really easily. For this one strand. The fact of the matter is you're getting this huge strand with an amazing graduation and my 2 strands of genuine faceted agate today for £13.85. It's not going to be though your price for all 3 strands today. £9.95. That's less than a bunch of flowers that will probably die within about 4 days. Or if you're anything like me and you put them on the low windowsill. Oh my goodness, I did this the other day. I left my flowers on my low windowsill to show off, to be honest, because I thought, you know, when people walk past and the postman comes and think, oh, look how popular this lady is with all her flowers. My dog ate them when I went to the shops. Well, she didn't eat them as much as tear them up. Well, no, she didn't properly eat them, which was more annoying. She sort of just spat them out and spread pollen around my carpet. I'm over it. Obviously, I'm not. Well, you couldn't even buy a bunch of flowers for this price. And the fact of the matter is, this is going to bring you, it's going to last you forever. You're going to be, if you are selling your pieces on, I know a lot of our viewers do, if you are selling your pieces on, you've got serious money-making possibilities within this, and you've got a gorgeous, very sought-after colour as well. Each hand-faceted, £9.95 for all 3 today. It's absolutely astonishing, it really is. Your names have gone off my screen, you've got so many. But there are plenty of you getting it. Do treat yourself to it now. I've got something special. I have got a gemstone which isn't actually going to be around for very much longer. I have got a gemstone for you which was classed as one generational gemstone. It's a 1 locational gem. This gemstone is covered in myths and legends and lore, and there truly is so much to say about this gem that I could stand here for days and talk about it. Let's just focus on some of the main pinpoints of it, shall we? Let's focus on let's focus on the mining of this gemstone. So, gemstone 1 location. This gemstone is only found at the foothills of Kilimanjaro. Now, the foothill, this area is around 16 square kilometres, so not that large at all. You know, smaller than the size of Birmingham by miles. So 16 square kilometres. And in that area, there is a few mines. Now, one of the tanzanite mines has already closed down. It has already had all of its yield completely taken away. Another one of the mines as well, we haven't actually found any considerable amounts of tanzanite since January, and that's coming to being closed down too. Now, why are we closing down all these mines? Well, A, because the yields have got so minimal and so small, but also because our technology is meaning that we're unable to mine it anymore. So in these areas, in these mines, we are around 800 meters into the crust of the earth. Now think about that, 800 meters into the crust, and it's not straight down. We're going in at an angle, because obviously if we were to go straight down by that far, you wouldn't be into the crust necessarily anymore, would you? You'd be heading into very dangerous territory. So we are going in at angles. You know, we've essentially run out of the sources and the means to go and be able to get this gemstone and go any deeper down. And that is one of the reasons that Tiffany & Co. took this to be their #1 gemstone, essentially, for many, many years. It's been prevalent in their blue book. It has had the sort of promotion that was generally only left for the likes of diamonds. And I'm going to be bringing it to you today for less than £80. Now, what happens when a gemstone raises in popularity? What happens when people start to know about tanzanite? Well, prices go up, don't they? Prices have gone up dramatically, and I'll be completely and absolutely honest with you. We got an email sent round. How long ago did we get that email off Steve Bennett saying about tanzanite? Was it about 2 or 3 months ago? Steve Bennett, CEO, gem hunter of the company. Oh yeah, Steve from ITV on Tuesday nights. We were, the whole of our company are on a programme on, I'll tell you more about it tomorrow, but on the 2nd. Are you in it, Ben?
Possibly, like walking around in the background.
I'm in it. Yeah, I had to sign a form to say that it was fine to see me, which I thought was very strange because my job is to be on TV anyway, but I still had to sign something. Anyway, I'll tell you more about it tomorrow. But this is the beautiful gem that Steve emailed us about not so long ago, and basically said, look, tanzanite has gone down in its yield so much that we think you won't actually be able to get tanzanite firsthand anymore for in the next couple of years possibly, and also that the prices have gone up. It's gone up massively everywhere, and that's just the fact of the matter. Now the thing is, that's set to continue. Tanzanite is going to suddenly drop in price. That's not what's going to happen with this. It has gone up. We've taken the price up. Our sister channels have taken the price up because we can't buy it at the price we used to be able to when there was loads of it when it was first discovered. That's not what's happening. The price is going up, and it's only going to rise. Now, popularity of this has been absolutely crazy, and I'm about to show you something which actually should be close to Stephanie's heart. Well, I say that. It's just something I found sort of ish to do with America today, so I thought Stephanie might know. You may well know that. I had a little look online earlier, and of course it was the Emmys not so long ago. It's the 66th year of the Emmys, and have a little look at this piece that I found in our on the websites and on the newspaper. Tanzanite is the new black, and this is about an Emmy jewellery suite. Now you've got a picture there of the lovely Kate Mulgrew, and she's of course from Orange is the New Black. If you watch it, I love it. It's amazing. Do you watch it, Ben?
Yeah.
It's epic, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's epic, really good. Anyway, it's essentially about her going specifically to a jewellery designer. And you can see there actually in the bottom picture she has laid out there in front of her thousands of pounds worth of jewellery, and she went to go and pick the piece that she wished to wear at the Emmys, and she went for a tanzanite selection. And in fact, I've got a direct quote here in front of me. I wrote it down in my bad handwriting. She said when she saw it, "That's the one, don't show me the rest, I just want that," about the tanzanite suite. And that is exactly what she went for, and exactly what she wore on the red carpet. She was absolutely stunning. This is the type of thing and the notoriety that this gemstone has now. It truly is. You're having with this not only the beauty of the gem, not only the work gone into the gem, not only the rarity of the gem, but you are purchasing today an heirloom. Because when I have a child, my child will not be able to buy this firehand. They just won't be. Because we will be very lucky if our source of this lasts another 5 or 6 years, and we truly will. It's one locational. We have had so many mines already closed down. I need to let you know though that I have got, we're just doing a little bit of a live price comparison now, just to give you an idea of the tanzanite prices we're looking at everywhere now. Oh, say that to me, Em. Yeah, what is it? Sterling silver bracelet, with 3 very, very small tanzanite gems, smaller than any of the ones we've got on this strand. Only 21 carat weight. Oh, I've got 40 carats here. I'm doubling that. How much is that? £475. There's no need. Not when you can make your own for this price. £41.95. And do you know what? In fact, you can make 2 of those for that price, can't you? Because I've got double the carat weight. £41.95 for a gemstone, which genuinely you will not be able to get your hands on for very much longer. The thing I love about this as well is there's a bit of like folklore and story and tale about how it was discovered. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because my producer just went, ooh, tell me more. And then I got the Grease theme tune in my head. Tell me more, oh, that's so annoying. Anyway, like, did he have a nice car? No, but he had a cracking strand of tanzanite. It was said that when it was actually discovered, so it was discovered properly in 1967, if memory serves me correctly, and the discovery of it itself, you know, is quite sort of, we know quite a lot about it because, of course, Tiffany and Co. took it in for themselves. But I love that. What are they called now? The Maasai tribe that comes from that area. They genuinely believe, and they have written up, you know, big documents and big wall carvings to do with how they believe that the tanzanite was actually created. And they believe that what happened was there was a storm one evening, and that thunder and lightning raged to the earth and lit the earth alight with these blue sparks and blue flames. And it was said that it burnt the entire area. And then the next morning, when the tribe awoke, it was said that all this area that was scorched with this burning hot blue flames from your thunderbolts had just completely disappeared. That the area itself was fine, the grass was fine, the grass was blooming, and they believed that this blue thunderbolt with all the heat went into the centre of the earth and created tanzanite. I love that idea, and you can see what they would think of that. Look at it. Look at the internal fire in this. It's got plenty of it. Look at that deep, fiery cosmos blue in here. It's absolutely stunning, it really is. IMYY28, £41.95 for you today. Absolutely stunning. Congratulations, everyone who've got yourself that. Guess what? You've got yourself a piece of history. Simple as that. £41.95. Whoa, tiny amount left, tiny amount. Congratulations to everyone who's getting that. You've genuinely got yourself a piece of history. Genuinely, congrats. I'm going to give you a gemstone now, which I've only actually managed to get my hands on once before, and now I'm bringing you a strand which I've never seen before, and I think you've only seen it once. This is the stunning aragonite. Ooh, my director says. Oh, it is definitely. These are your aragonite coins. 220 carats worth we've got here. Let's just take a real close look at the banding for a moment. Oh my goodness, isn't it beautiful? I love this pink as well. Really delicate, isn't it? Now, this is actually named after Milana de Aragon, which is an area in Spain, which is where it was originally discovered. And that's where the name itself comes from, the aragonite. It's 14 mil that we've got in here. And this is such a stunning gemstone. In fact, I've got a slide for you on this. Now, this aragonite this is how aragonite is found in the mines. Now, that is a cave, okay? That is a cave. So imagine you are on a tour, you go to the huge caves. Now, what do you generally see? You see stalactites, you see stalagmites, don't you? This gemstone, though, has a closer chemical composition to that of the inside of a mollusk than it does to an actual gemstone. Isn't that crazy to think? So this is actually has more in common with an organic and with a pearl than it does to any other gemstone. So when you walk in, this picture here that you're seeing actually is described as the Milky Way Hall, and it's an area in, I want to say Slovakia, I'll check for you, and it's called the Milky Way Hall, and essentially you have a tour of this area and you go into a cave, and no stalagmites, stalactites, it's literally just this area, this massive, almost looks like a moss, doesn't it, or bark, but it's all growing down and they come up and down from the sides, and it's just astonishing really. And that's how this gemstone itself actually grows. Slovakia, it is Slovakia, and that's where this gemstone, that's how this gemstone grows, and it's purely because the internal composition is closer to that of a shell than it is of a gemstone. It's still a gemstone though. I think that's absolutely astonishing. It's a totally unique gem. We don't have it on that often. Loads of you love it. You lot are connoisseurs, aren't you? You lot know your gemstones. You do, because look at you. My director just went, oh yeah, they're all over it. Yeah, they are. You're right. You lot know what you're doing. I've got more double buyers than I've got single buyers almost. Your price probably is helping that. £6.95. And look at how beautiful this tone is. It's so special. The lustre, unlike anything else, you know, I think it's really hard lustre to describe. It's not like an agate at all. It's not like a rose quartz at all. It's got this life internally to it, which I think can only be described at home. By seeing it yourself at home. Boy, oh boy, there's more of you coming in. Yeah, that price is astonishing. Genuine strand of gemstones for just £6.95, £14.95 for you today. I've got another bundle of joy for you now. Oh, I love calming tones. That's really calming. It's like faceting upon drops of rain. That sounds naff, but you know what I mean. That's exactly what it makes me think of. It really does. It's so beautiful. Do you see what I mean? It does though, doesn't it? It really does. Look at them twinkling away. That then matches perfectly. This, by the way, is your gorgeous, very, very delicate blue faceted round agates 4mm. You've then got your bold, impactful tone of blue here. This one is your gorgeous deep aragonite. This is your deep blue aragonite. More aragonite in here for you. That's amazing. I've never seen aragonite in a bundle. 8mm on these ones. 190 carats worth. That is astonishing. You've then got your beautiful, really, really deep rainbow moonstone. Now I say deep because I'm getting a beautiful blue shiller off this. You're not getting that sheen, you're not getting that shiller, purely because the lights in here are an absolute killer. They're said to light myself and the lovely Stephanie and all of our surrounding area, but they do wipe out the beautiful internal sheen that you're getting on this. But just trust me on it. When you get it home, you will understand. And don't forget as well, rainbow moonstone. Our rainbow moonstone, as with all of ours, has to go through 7 different processes to be given the name and the AOK. And rainbow moonstone has to actually go to a lab as well to be given the name of rainbow moonstone. So you know already you've got the quality there. And lastly, but by no means leastly, look at this multicoloured moonstone. So let's go the multicoloured. So you've got your areas of the creams, you've got the peaches going through to the greys. Look at all of those different colours. Isn't that so exceptional? 4 strands we have here. Beautiful selection, rarest of aragonite sparkling away for you there. Then enveloped with that beautiful rainbow moonstone, which has been cascaded by the multicoloured moonstone, and then you've got those faceted raindrops of that beautiful agate on top. Your price for all 4 today should be, now that's good. I've forgotten where this is going, to be honest. $18.80. That's the before price. Okay, so we're going lower than that. Oh. £12.95. That is £3.24 per strand. Now let me just show you the length of these strands. Whoosh. That is a serious length on the strand, isn't it? with all that multicolours, all that work that's been put into them. You've then got aragonite, which I would say I haven't seen in ages, except I've just done a strand for you. But before that, I hadn't seen it in yonks. You've then got your faceted agate, which has got a gorgeous colouring of blue through there. And then you've got this stunning graduated strand of your rainbow moonstone too. Get your hands on a beautiful collection, a gorgeous selection at just £12.95. Loads in baskets. Do just check them out for me. Once you check them out, we're able to give you a really good idea of how many we've got left, etc. Now, are you saying these have only been seen once before? Looks like they have. I'm about to bring you now some S-shaped clasps. Now, clasps are important, aren't they? We can make our own clasps. That's absolutely fine. But sometimes, with your own made clasp, let's face it, you don't always have the definite security that they're going to hold. You don't have the definite security that they're going to fit in with exactly what you're creating. You don't have the knowledge and the safety that you'll be able to recreate the same one for, say, a suite. Because when we do create a suite, when we create a beautiful neckline piece, a bracelet, a pair of earrings, we want to make sure that the bracelet and the necklace have the same clasp, don't we? And sometimes if we're recreating something, especially if it's quite intricate as our own clasp, can be quite tricky to do, but it's something you want to knock perfectly out the park. With these, you're going to be doing that because we have three beautiful, identical sterling silver S-shaped clasps. Only been seen once before in a bundle. You've never seen them alone. They are exceptional, aren't they? You've got the large jump rings here, which are whole. Yeah, they are. Just checking. These are your closed jump rings, so perfect rounds on those. Oh, I need to let you know I've only got 50 of these all already. Sorry about that. Get them whilst you can. It's sterling silver. You've then got, oh my gosh, look at this detail in the centre. You've got that protruding centre coming out of this. It actually almost looks like a gemstone, doesn't it? You see that there? Isn't that pretty? And then that's almost encapsulated with these two little spirals. Now this is your S-shaped clasp, so essentially when you attach your piece to this, you just unhook it. If you've got dexterity problems and maybe find, you know, your lobster claw clasp a hassle, or maybe if you just like me and you live alone and at the end of a night you can't take off your bracelet because it's such a nightmare to undo a lobster claw clasp one-handed. Oh my gosh, I can be there for ages, and you sort of get yourself in the right tangle. You don't have that problem with these because they're S-shaped clasps, so there's no thing to unhook. You simply loop it off, it's done. You can use this, as we've seen with the end caps earlier on, using the beautiful Viking knit. You can use this with macrame, which Mark's just finishing off out there. You can use this with Rachel Norris, who's coming on tomorrow, doing her wire work special for us. You can use this with Kumahimo. You can use these with anything, really, you could set your mind to. It's $9.25. It's never going to go out of style. It's never going to go out of fashion. It's yours today for just £9.95. How have we managed that? When did we get these in? Right. That's why. That's why we're able to get it at that price, because we got these in just over a month and a half ago, which means with me working back, we have on 925, we have generally around a 4 or 5 months turnaround for us putting the order in. Now that means that we will have got these before the silver price hike, which happened at the end of, trying to think what month we're in now. Yeah, so the end of June. The end of June, the price went up to the highest it's been by raised in price in literally the space of a couple of weeks by 21.6%. The price of silver went up by worldwide. That's why you're still able to get it at this price right now, because we bought these before that price hike. That's the simple reason. When you're going to be looking in 4 or 5 months time for the pieces that we've maybe brought in June, you can't be expecting this price point because the market has gone up dramatically. Loads of people with it in their basket. I've got Charity in I've got Joanne in Arizona, I've got June in Surrey, Elizabeth in the Scottish borders, I have got London, Herefordshire, loads and loads of you. I've got Wales in there as well, a couple of people buying in Wales actually. Congratulations everyone. Do make sure, Joanne in Arizona and Charity in Florida, you check out those baskets for us, love. Don't forget, £2.95 postage and packaging all day. Even if you just buy one thing today, even if you just buy this, you'll still pay £2.95. If you buy everything you see on all of the shows until midnight tonight, it'll still only be £2.95. So fill your boots. It's only one postage and packaging. Fab that, isn't it? £9.95 for all three. First time you've seen it by itself. Now, this is new. Chain, chain, chain. Oh my gosh, I love this. I feel like this is 60s inspired. Isn't that cool? Could you see that? It's like a little belt. You know when they toggle through belts? Yeah. Have a look. Brand new chain. Boy, oh boy, you love this stuff. Take a look. Do you see what I mean? You've got that geometric kind of 60s style vibe. I can see this choker. You're right, Director Ben. Choker. How beautiful is this? Now, this is going to be your copper plated. So it's rose gold, plating that gorgeous copper. Now, these ones, you've got 23mm by 12mm loops, and these ones are the ones holding up. So you've got your double loop inside each other, and then those are being held on. Now, the wonderful thing with this is, do you do polymer clay? If you're a person who does polymer clay, do you know that you can make your own family tree photographic necklace with this chain? All you have to do, get yourself a piece of polymer, get yourself some t-shirt transfer, copy off whatever pictures you want from your laptop or wherever it might be, put them onto, you can just put the t-shirt transfer paper through your printer, put photos of your friends, your family in, pop them onto your polymer, put the polymer through here, so your picture's there in the center like these are your frame, bake it, and then you could have, say, a person, every member of your family in one of these, and you could do it in, say, a really dramatic neck piece, maybe starting off with the matriarch of the family and going down to the grandchildren, etc. Or what about a pair of cufflinks? What about a pair of cufflinks with these, and maybe doing, or what about for a wedding? Bride and groom, bride in one, groom in another. Oh, it'd be so cute, wouldn't it? But, of course, with these, you can also use these to wrap cabs. We've seen the wonderful Gemma Crow doing something very similar with a similar chain to this. It'd be absolutely beautiful. It really, really would. Just wrapping, bending these, essentially, around the cab. This chain is approximately 50 centimetres long, and so we're looking at just a ½ metre that we've got for this. It's a beautiful, rich colour on this rose gold as well, isn't it? It's brand new, so I wonder what your price will be. What's your premier price point going to be? £9.95. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I should have taken this to the festival, shouldn't I? £9.95. It's beautiful. If you've got, but actually, sorry, I know you're about to get shot, but this goes really nicely with my hair tone, doesn't it? I think if you've got really dark hair, if you've got your black hair, it's going to really lift it. If you've got like the highlighted hair like I have, that's going to lift it. It made me look a little bit more blonder then, didn't it? It's beautiful. It's going to go great with any skin colour we've got as well. It really is. £9.95 for your brand spanking new chain. It's so beautiful. ZOAZ87. Stunning. Well done everyone who's getting your hands on this. Really well done. I've got so much to fit in. Oh, wow. Wow. I know you're not going to be able to see this. I know. Look at the quality of this tourmaline. Genuinely, I've never, ever, ever seen such a high quality tourmaline in this multicoloured slab shape. Never. These are your regular plain squares. Now, one thing that you're missing on this, due again to our light source, is when the lights hit this, the lights will purely show you the front effect. That's it, that's all they'll do. What you can't do, sadly, with these lights, is you can't lift this up like I can and look through this and see a rainbow stained glass window. That's due to the clarity and due to the quality of this. Now, tourmaline is an interesting one as well, because tourmaline got its name from essentially what was written on the side of a box. Now, I know it's not a very romantic story, but it's absolutely true. What was said is that a box of this was sent over to Holland, and what they used to do, have on the side of a box, it used to be the word tourmaline. Now, tourmaline meaning random mixed gemstones, mixed precious gemstones essentially, and it was said that children used to play with tourmaline very much like marbles. They just used to roll them in the street, and what used to happen is, because these have an electro field to them when they're heated and when they're rubbed together, they have a feel to them, and it said that they used to, when they were playing marbles, pollen and petals used to be attracted to this. So it was said that the people of this town who were playing with these gemstones in the street took them to a local gemologist, and they were actually given their own name, and they were named after what was written on the side of a box. Just the random precious gemstones, tourmaline, and it was named into tourmaline. And it has got this amazing ability to attract, and that's one of the reasons that crystal healers believe that tourmaline is great for energy, and it's great for attracting people with the same beliefs and hopes as you. It is truly a wonderful stained glass-like appearance that we have here. It really, really is. Your price today for multicoloured tourmaline, one of the big ones, is... Really? It's not £25. I can't believe this. For this quality, this is shocking. What? £19.95. Now, you didn't tell me about that price drop when we had our pre-production meeting. Definitely not. Producer Helena throwing me under the bus there. £19.95. Oh my goodness. I cannot get over that. I really, really, really wish you actually in L Flesh. Get it home. 30-day money-back guarantee, you know this. 30-day money-back guarantee, no quibbles, no questions, no nothing. If you don't love it, just send it back. But realistically, you just need to truly see and appreciate this. You really, really, really do. Oh my goodness. Shape as well. Stephanie, we're working here with a plain square, so they're flattened squares, quite unusual. What would you think of doing with this sort of shape?
Wow, I don't know. Here you're putting me on the spot again.
Oh no, I'm a mischievous pup today.
You are. I think I might make some like little miniature beads with them. Yeah. You know, just little chunks of them in spaces, and just kind of specialize each one. You know, maybe 5 or 6 of them grouped together with little, you know, end caps and things, and make a nice chain around.
Oh, I love that idea. So almost putting them together to make.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a gorgeous idea.
I think that would be very nice.
And would you mix the colours, or are you someone who would work with them together?
Oh, you know, you just want to work with them as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fun aspects of it, definitely.
Yes. Oh, that's one of my favorite stones.
Really?
It is.
And why is that?
I think it's just the gradation of the colors.
So much, isn't there?
I don't know. I've always been drawn to it.
There's so much there, isn't there? There really, really is. The clarity is absolutely astonishing. I wish you could see it at home. The only way to see it at home is to get it home. £19.95. Beautiful gemstone strand that you have here. Please tell me the price point that we're going to do on this. Okay, I think this is my 4th or 5th strand of pearls on today's show. If it is my 5th strand, I'd like that. You know that Chanel, you know, I was talking to you about Karl Lagerfeld earlier, and he said Chanel is going back to its DNA of the brand, and they're working with pearls this time. They're stringing themselves in pearls, and it's been absolutely true, hasn't it? Well, I think this might be my 5th strand of pearls, and we all know, I'm sure, that Chanel, lucky number, Coco Chanel, Gabrielle herself, her favourite number was the number 5. And we know that for a few reasons. It was whenever she had a collection, she would generally, well, she would always have it on the 5th of the month, and she would do her biggest collection on the 5th of the 5th every single year. Also, whenever she did do her catwalk shows, she would make sure that her models always went out in 5. She would have 5 groups, and she would also have, say, 5 themes or 5 collections to her runway shows for Chanel. And of course, epitomised most simply by her most famous of all the perfumes, Chanel No. 5. This is a beautiful strand of pearls, not only because I know the price, but because these are your silver cultured pearls. Look at the size of these, 10 by 9. Now, as I'm moving these, look, they are seamless, aren't they? They are smooth and oh so impressive. I want to show these up to the neckline again, if I may. Pearls, it's so important to show you up to the neckline. This is touching at the back. Now, that for me is a perfect length for a necklace with this touching at the back. Now, how much are you going to be paying for genuine pearls? These aren't faux, these are genuine. These have taken Mother Nature and the mollusk itself around 9 to 10 years to create every single one. How much are we looking on the high street for a necklace of this quality? £300? £400? If it's got a name attached to it, double, triple that easily, can't you? This for me is the length of a necklace. All I need to do is add a clasp to it. These are massive, genuine pearls. Your price for a necklace length isn't £400, it's not even £300. It's yours today for £11.95. I know, you're wondering, how do you do that? I can tell you time and time again, I swear it's just our buying power. It really, really, really is. We cut out the middleman time and time again. We go straight to the people who cultivate these beautiful organics. We go straight to the mines. We go straight to the areas in which we need these. We cut out the middleman. We have our own mines. We have our own areas that we go and get our genuine organics and genuine gemstones from. This goes to show you what we do so well, and that is bring you genuine, high quality pieces at ridiculous bargain basement prices. And let's face it, we have all seen plastic pearls on the market for a higher price point than that. Why would you? Well, you can get the real deal for just £11.95. Hello, Teddy Bear in Texas, you're back with us. Maureen in Cumbria. I've got lovely Susan in Flintshire. I was in Flintshire the other day. It was lovely and sunny. I've got triple buyers, I've got double buyers. There are so many if you get your hands on this. Yep, I know, absolutely astonishing, isn't it, that you can get your hands out of this for that price point. It's just stunning. £11.95. Your names have gone off my screen, there's so many of you. I will say I'm heading low into my figures now. Really low into my figures on the amount, the quantity I've got left of this for you. Trust me, it's worth a purchase today because pearls have gone up so dramatically in price. It's your chance to get it at a jewellery maker. Honest to goodness, £11.95 for you today. Now, say that to me again. Rose gold S-shaped clasp. That'll go so well with the chain I just did for you. Remember that 60s vibe chain I've just done? Squeeze these in for you before I head over to the lovely Susan in Susan? Who have I just called Susan? Who just said Susan in my ear? Stephanie. How have I been with you for 4 hours and now?
You are in so much trouble.
No, I wasn't. No, I was talking to the lady with the headwear, obviously.
Oh, there we go, yes.
Got myself out of that one, real cash. We're going to be heading over to the lovely Stephanie and her friend Susan in about a minute. Let me squeeze these in for you. Rose gold, 95 sterling silver. So this is rose gold plating, so overlaid on your 925 S-shaped clasp with that beautiful nautical gizmo design in the centre. Your price today for it's just £9.95 for you for genuine silver enveloped within the most precious of rose gold, 9-carat rose gold overlaid on top of these. £9.95. That is a stunning price for you today. Let's head over to the lovely Stephanie. How have you found your challenge? Oh my goodness. How have you managed to do this in such a short time?
It's Viking Knit. What can I say?
Oh,
are we ready for the big reveal?
Goodness, yes. Have a look. We gave the gorgeous Stephanie just 2 strands, and look at what she's created.
Now these are actually earrings.
No way!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
So, but I just hooked them on there, you know, so you could see. But yeah,
that is
so it's just a simple drop necklace with a little bit of Viking Knit. It was a little bit longer than for a bracelet, so I turned it into a necklace and added some additional chain.
I adore that so much. That's the one at the side of your screen. Now the price on the black spinel, that was the double-sided, was the $14.95, and at the bottom these gorgeous hearts, $6.95. How are they to work with?
Very simple. Very simple. I just put some, I just wire, now you can't look too closely because I was under pressure, you know, but just wire wrap these and just put, you know, head pins into the hearts.
And how did we attach this section onto the Viking Knit itself?
Just with a jump ring.
How simple is that?
I put a jump ring, and actually this is a clasp, the half of a clasp.
Oh yeah.
And then I just took the chain with a lark's head knot, put it on there, and then just hung from it.
That is so beautiful. I love it. Gives lots of depth to it, doesn't
you know,
it?
and it's simple and elegant. You know,
And
it doesn't
really
have to be over the top like most of my things.
You're absolutely right, but it really highlights that Viking
It does,
as well.
it does. And it highlights the stones. I think it makes the stones stand out, and we did our little coiled end caps on there to, you know, to bring some of the black in from the other stones, and I'm pretty happy with it.
I absolutely love that. I can't believe how quickly you've managed to do that. It's astonishing.
It was I had a couple minutes left. I cleaned up a little.
Gosh, you're good. Stephanie, I've had an absolute ball. How's your day been?
It's been great. It's been great. I think I've enjoyed the questions. You know, I don't always get an opportunity to talk to the viewers and answer those questions, and so now I've been able to get to a lot of viewers to answer those questions.
Absolutely wonderful. Tell us where we can find you. If you've got a website that
we do have a website. It's StephanieEddy.com.
Easy peasy to remember. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us today. When are you going back to America?
On Saturday, but we're stopping in London, you know, to see the sights first. So.
Oh, have a little look around. Shopping?
Touring.
Touring,
We're touring. I can make all the jewelry, so you know.
Well, you won't be buying any of that. Stephanie, thank you so much for today.
Thank you very much. It's been great.
Thank you guys at home as well for all of your questions. You have all absolutely adored these designs, and it doesn't surprise me at all. We will put these pictures up on our Facebook, so do stay tuned for those. After the break, you've got the lovely Ali with Frankie, and tomorrow, Rachel Norris with me. See you until 5.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi Jewellery Makers, if you're a Freeview viewer, you can now continue to watch the show live